if it did that. But yes, we are now live, I believe. Let me quickly check here. Um, yes, we're live. Oh, mate, everything's changed, so I can't even. Where's my count? Okay, yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it. Hey, Emerald Ace, what's good?
What's up, Emerald?
Vincenzo, what's good? Vincenzo's always bright and early.
Oh yeah, always early to the
Always.
streams.
Yep. Emerald as well.
Raito, I got a question for you.
Go on.
You're sitting at 1,000 subs, right?
Yes.
Do you get money off your streams? Like, do you have them monetized?
Not yet. So, because I took that 6 months off. Hey, Kate. Because I took that 6 months off, it kind of threw off
Oh, like
my
your stuff is
watch hours.
now.
Yeah, because it was like because I started in February last year, and then I stopped in June, I believe it was June, and took like a whole 6 month off. Came back in January this year, but that big massive gap with no content is killing me right now in terms of my watch hours.
Makes
But
sense.
I should hit it soon though. I'm on I'm on 3.5 3.5k.
How
I'm
much
just
do these streams help for it?
oh these streams are like the best thing for it. So
Really?
yeah, for me these are the best things for it. Because you know how slow I am in getting my reviews out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like by the time my reviews are out, they're not really that relevant. Um, so like these streams and like the like the stats videos and the goal videos, those are the ones that do the best for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's good, Nikim?
What's up, man? Oh, go on.
Yeah, good man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. How's everyone else?
Yes, I am good. I am good today. I'm so hot though right now.
Yeah, the weather. I mean, I think it's gonna rain tomorrow, but
Oh, Nakeem, get ready because we're gonna start needing you for voice lines soon.
okay, cool. No problem.
Oh yeah, we're finally getting to that point.
Oh, that's really exciting. Now that's really cool.
Oh, I know. I've been anticipating this. We'll have Act One apparently done by the end of the year. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, the new trailer will drop by the end of the year, which will be dope
Oh,
as
that's
hell.
super dope, man. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, that's it, Vincenzo. So like I've got to start getting a lot quicker with my review videos or just not do it. Like I honestly the past
Just
2 weeks.
are entertaining to you because you feel like you're more at home with like the stats videos. You feel like
Yeah,
more.
for sure. For sure. Like that's why I enjoy doing it. Um the review videos, like honestly, like the last 2 3 weeks I thought about just not doing them. So that's why I missed like chapter 300 and 301, I believe. I missed those chapters because I was like, is there any point? Because I prefer to do the start videos and um and the GA stuff. I just need to get a lot quicker in my editing. Are you gonna guess the new Gen 11? Is that even possible right now? All we got is silhouettes. Let me get OP up here.
You can
Let
get
me
citizens, I think.
Let me get the chapter up on my end so I can cross reference points.
Yeah. It was a really good chapter though. It's a lot different from the usual stuff.
Yeah, it reminded me of the start of the NEL. Do you remember, like, I don't know if you guys remember, it was so long ago, but when the NEL first started, and it was like Ego explaining what the NEL was, and
Yeah.
I think it gave me kind of like that early NEL vibes, which is really cool. We haven't had like that type of exposition in a long time since we've been
Oh
in
yeah.
games for so long.
Yeah. And we haven't seen Henri properly in a long time, so I love that.
Does
Oh
she?
yeah.
Does she have a Was it? I don't know if I was tripping. Does she have a piercing on her?
I
Yeah.
think she does have piercings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does she have a
It's like
piercing on her
standard
like
though.
on her near her chin?
Her
No, no, no.
chin?
I think that's
No.
just gloss.
Was that just the raws looking weird? Because I don't, I thought that was or gloss or like it might be lip
No.
gloss.
It's gloss. It's not.
Okay,
She doesn't have a piercing because if
I thought she had a piercing in her. I know she has earrings, but I
it
didn't.
looks weird.
Yeah, that's why I thought
No,
she had a
it's
piercing
gloss.
there.
It's gloss because I'm looking at the multiple panels here, and then I'm comparing it to like episode Nagi, and they gloss her lips in the same way there.
Yeah,
So I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I
Um,
love honor.
so I want to ask you guys: do you guys have any theories for how the
I
World Cup is going to set up? Because I have a theory that I'm going to probably make a video on for Saturday. I'm pretty excited to make it because I think it's pretty solid. There's another one of my good theories that I'm happy with. So I want to know if you guys have anything.
I have a ton. I don't know if any of you guys have some. Who wants to go first? But
No, if you've got one, go ahead.
cool. So we I think the U20 World Cup is going to be amazing. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit because I saw a lot of people being like, "We're going to be in this arc for like 10 years."
Who
Realistic,
cares?
yeah. No, it's first of all, who cares? But also realistically, we are probably only going to focus on the specific countries that I need to get the list up, but the specific countries that were like listed where the new Gen 11 are being resided in.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna gloss over the group stage because there's a group stage before the actual tournament begins. There's a little group stage in the actual in like U20 tournament
Well,
against
what's
other
that? What do you
countries.
mean? What do you mean group stage? Because I don't know.
It's
I
not
don't really know how that stuff works. I'm not
uh
the biggest like
We
IRL
have a
soccer
situation.
group
fan.
stage, and then in this one we'll have round of 32 and a knockout. Then a bunch of
Yeah,
knockout
Yeah, so
eliminations
before
after.
knockout stages, you've got the group stages to determine who goes into the
who
knockouts.
goes into the knockout stages. Yeah,
So
so
then,
it's
what?
like
How does the group stage work? Is it just like it's not like if you lose, you get eliminated? It's just like a point thing.
yeah, it's a
Like
point
Yeah.
system. It's a point
So the
system.
best two teams, or if we're doing groups of four, will qualify to the next
I
stage.
think I think the way they will handle the group stage is. Do you remember back in the end of first selection when Isagi had to do the challenge of kicking the 100? He had to score 100 goals, right? I know if the 100
yeah.
goal thing. I think that's how they're gonna do it. It's gonna be a speed montage of the players just like excelling. The Blue Lockers excelling and maybe showing off some of their new weapons that they've developed in the NEL. But I think it's just gonna be Japan excelling. I think they're gonna be going on like a victory run. I don't think they're gonna struggle too much in the group stage. I
Because
might,
there's 64
But
club
I feel like they'll
teams. It's
skip
not
that though.
32.
yeah, they might just
Think-
skip it.
Do you
Do you-
feel like they would just be like, oh, since there's 64 countries doing like, because it's 64 countries according to the thing, it's a record breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll just like randomly assign the countries like a number and
But-
then form the brackets based off of the numbers? Have like one extra game and then just do all knockout?
I actually thought that Japan would actually lose in the
In the
game
group
in the
stage?
group stages, not lose the group stages, but
Yeah, just lose one game.
lose a game in the group stages
Yeah.
to wake them up.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, I think. Okay, I think because all of the Blue Lookers have this fire in them right now, especially after the NEL. I just feel like I'm not saying that it might take them a while, is also to get accustomed to like the new wherever the starting 11 is gonna be, because they haven't. Again, these guys have been away from each other. They haven't been on the same team in a while. Some of them haven't anyway. So
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna like work. We'll have to wait and see. But
Dynamics will be weird.
the dynamic is definitely going to be strange. Maybe the author could actually focus on that. Maybe the players are having a hard time forming chemical reactions
Yeah.
at first because it's like, oh, like we haven't played with each other in so long. It's been ages since third selection, since U20 game. Sorry.
Yeah.
But there's that one. So before I get into my theory, I need to get up. I need to make sure I have the correct information up. All right, here we go. So
He got the shit unlocked. He's ready.
So we
Yep.
know that Germany, France, Spain, England, Italy, Egypt, Brazil, Japan, Morocco, USA, and China will be the main focus in the next Blue Lock arc. I think the countries that pertain to my theory are going to be Spain, Germany, and Italy. Actually, those three countries. Now, Italy, as we know, Don Lorenzo. That's where he's from. That's where he resides, right? However, it isn't. I personally think, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. I think there's going to be some overlap. I think we'll have at least two new gens on one country. It's not going to just be one new that they would have the best goalkeeper. But as we know, Pablo isn't here, and Argentina isn't one of the countries. I mean, it could be one of the countries. There's 64 countries, but Argentina won't have like focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My theory was that Lorenzo being the central defender and Italy having like a new gen goalkeeper is like a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
I
because
feel
it's
like that.
like
Mhm.
because it's like the don't they like for the NEL didn't it say like they specialize in like Cantonasio, so like all counterattack, just have the
Basically, yeah.
strongest defense alive,
I
strong because he's the strongest he's the strongest defensive new gen, like he's the
yeah.
strongest U20 center back,
So
so have him and then yeah,
do you remember the scene? Do you guys remember the scene when Isagi tells Gagamaru to go low and like he stops the Chris Prince's shot? I think
Mhm.
it's gonna be like that where Lorenzo's gonna just be on it with them.
No
They're gonna be
way.
in so much sync. I think Lorenzo and the goalkeeper, the new gen goalkeeper, will be in so like incredibly like they're gonna be synced insanely. And I think the goalkeeper will be who Gagamaru needs to devour. I think it will lead to Gagamaru's awakening. Now you're probably thinking, what the fuck what the fuck are you talking about? I think having both the goalkeeper, like imagine, right? Um he's trying his hardest and then it cuts to Gagamaru. Like Gagamaru's like, this guy's fucking amazing. Like, wow, this guy's insane. Right? And then it could be like a respect thing. I could see like the new gen Italian goalkeeper being like shouting from his side of the goal, like you're amazing, Gagamaru. And Gagamaru is like no, and then it's just going. I can imagine like just a scene of them screaming at each other, and I think that game will go. I think that game will be extremely hard for Blue Lock. I think Japan will. I'm not saying they're gonna lose, but someone, I think it was Crocodile on TikTok, he spoke about what if this game ended up being a penalty shootout. You know how it's like they have to take penalties,
Hmm.
and
I
imagine
think they'll
right.
do extra time in this, like 120 or go straight
Yeah.
to pen.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
will. But it was like, what if during penalties, Gagamaru is the one that scores the loss? Because remember, he is trained to be a striker. He swapped positions, but he can still kick. He can score goals. Gagamaru isn't.
yeah,
He's
but
flexible. Yeah.
yeah, but Gagamaru's entire thing, like a penalty
Yeah.
shootout, is just kind of like someone like that is good. Like, sorry, someone good for that is like Kaiser.
Yes.
Incredibly fast shot, great precision. Gagamaru is good during a play because his
Mm,
hit can be unpredictable in the moment. But when the ball is stationary in front of you and you're kicking the ball, he's not really gonna excel though. Like, what is he?
yeah.
What is he gonna do?
I I have to work.
Reactions.
Yeah,
Maybe
reaction.
maybe unlock some sort of reaction speed.
But like when the ball's in front of you though, like not moving stationary, and you just have to kick it at the net, and the goalkeeper moves either way. I feel like it'd be better for Gagamaru in the inverse. Like
Yeah.
he has to train and try and keep up with this other goalkeeper in the penalty shootout. Like they have great shooters. Gagamaru has to keep matching
Yeah, I could see
based
that.
off
I could
pure
see a
reaction.
situation. I could see
Mm.
a situation like that too. I think both situations work. Are you good, Daddy?
Daddy, we can hear you. You know.
We can hear you, bro.
No, he's offline.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
I just need to put him in.
Um,
We can hear him. I think
an,
he can't hear us. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
another country I think will
No
have
pain me now, please.
another country I think will have incredibly importance that I don't have any crazy theories for, but I just think will be incredibly important is obviously Spain. Now, there has been a lot of discussion about who the new gen from Spain is. Now, there's two. I spoke to Arrow about this earlier in Discord. There's like two. There's two theories. First theory is that Psy is representing Spain. Now, people were quick to be like, Psy can't represent Spain. However, upon doing some Google research, if you are I believe you have to be in a Spanish club for, was it 5 years?
Yeah, you have to. So that's literally half of my theory that I was gonna
Yeah.
say is that Sai, he's eligible to represent Spain because in order like normally for the main World Cup, right? You would
Yeah.
need to be residing in Spain and there for I think it's a decade, it might be
Yeah.
7 years.
But
But
if
it's a
you're a
matter.
refugee, you can be in 5. Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of you have to be A, registered to a Spanish club,
Which he is.
and B, reside there for 5 years. And
Yeah,
then
which he will
there's a
do.
third point, which is Sai went and renewed his passport just in
Yeah.
Japan, but now he's moving. But
It's
now then he's going back to Spain.
it's
So
heavy.
he is.
Kaneshiro has heavily foreshadowed that Sai does not give a fuck about Japan. It's very obvious that he doesn't care about Japan. He has no interest in representing Japan. He cares about the Champions League. He doesn't even give a fuck about like international tournaments. He doesn't give a shit. And if this theory that Sai has secretly became like off screen has fully become a Spanish citizen, and he revealed that he is the Spanish U20, sorry, not U20, Spanish new gen, I wouldn't be too upset about it. I do. It would be a bit like weird because I'm pretty sure they don't directly state that he is the Japanese new gen. I just assumed he was the Japanese new
Yeah.
gen.
Because like we assume
how it is.
Kaiser is, but he's gonna
Yeah.
go. But he's gonna go play at Real. We'd still
Yeah.
assume he was be the German new
Yeah,
generation.
the German new gen.
But
rather.
also, the Spanish New Gen 11 may be like Sai. He may be representing a different country and
Sure.
may not be representing his
I-
national country in the World Cup. He might be doing what Sai does.
Yeah, it could be that. I
Like, what's
think
another popular club? Sorry.
in Spanish football.
No, in a different like what's a very like okay. It's based off of Real Madrid, right? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah. Real is
So
based off Real
what is
Madrid.
another popular club that people would consider equal to like Real Madrid in terms of like
Manchester
popularity, but is
Manchester
not
United.
Spanish?
No, Manchester United. What the hell?
Manchester United.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's the
Manshine. It
what
would
league
be
The
is that? Is
Manshine
timeline
that
of
United.
English?
2019 where
Is
they're
that
still
English?
mid, bro.
Yes, it's
We
English.
gotta
It's
be
English.
thinking about like Bayern
the
Munich,
bad
So
right.
then,
Manchester City likes.
Yeah.
what if that guy's representing England because he's been doing the same thing that Sai has for Spain, but
It
now he plays for England.
it could definitely be the case, Arrow. The only, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but the only issue I think that Kaneshiro would run into with that is it's a lot of stuff for him to keep track of, and it would be a lot of stuff for the audience to keep track of too. It's not bad. It's not bad. I still think that definitely. I feel like there will be a player who
Well,
is like that, like it
well,
lived in the country,
I
represented.
do think that we are kind of doubting
Yeah.
the writing though in that regard. Like he's been like I would believe in relation to like the new ego types that we've gotten classifications for, like
Yeah.
world self or genius talented learner, and then freedom and restrictive. Even if you go all the way back to season 1 or like chapters 1 to 90 of the manga, everything he's saying right now is still accurately consistent, even
Yeah.
at that point in the series. So he has been planning that and writing up the story
Mhm.
consistently leading up to this point where he is now giving these classifications, implying that he's been keeping those things in mind for the criteria of the story. And when you look at Sai's age, if he has been planning for Sai to represent Spain,
Mhm.
he planned it so Sai would be going to Real at 13 years old. He would
Mhm.
come back from Spain 4 years later to challenge Rain. In the Rain one shot, we would see that's another 6 months before he entered Blue Lock. A couple months after their fight,
Mhm.
it was 6 months before Blue Lock started. And then leading up to that, it's been about a year since that one shot in main story, implying it's been around 5 years. So he's planning the timing perfectly to set Sai up to be
Yeah.
in this position.
If
I
Sai,
wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't think it's beyond.
I wouldn't doubt it either because Kaneshiro basically reconfirmed in the new chapter that just came out. Ego literally says, "I have my 23, bro. There's not going to be anyone else." Ego says this, and unless obviously we know that Barasuta, I can't say that guy's name. I'm so
Barasuta, yeah.
sorry. Barasuta, we know that he says, "Yo, I want to make fucking money," and Sai would bring look back at the U20 game. The only reason most of the Japanese people came to go watch that special match between the Blue Lookers and the U20 was because of Sai's presence.
Oh, yeah, it was
Sai
all
was the
Sai.
one that brought it. Was all Sai. Had nothing. No one wants to see fucking, no disrespect to Sendo and Aiku. I love Aiku. But no one wants to go see Sendo.
Yeah, they
bring his
don't.
death
They,
a
they
little
love him,
bit.
but they don't care enough to fight
Yeah.
a nobody. It's just the fact that this was Sai's
He-
very first
he's-
match ever representing Japan.
Yeah,
Ever.
it was a big event. Now, if Spain is in this, I would love if the author, and I know he might not do this, but if he shifted focus to Spain's perspective, and maybe that's when we get Sai's backstory. If Sai does play for Spain, um, when we see the Spain U20 team, it is going to be filled of players who are Real Academy players. There will be Real Academy, 100% Real Academy players, and probably some players that we saw on Barcha, because that's a Spanish club as well back
Don't
in the NEL. Like a
don't
mix
forget
of those guys.
the let's not get too bogged down on you know, Real and Barcha. There's
Yeah,
other teams
there's
in
other
Spain as
Spanish,
well.
yeah.
You know,
There's
there's
other Spanish, yeah. There's other Spanish clubs.
Atleticos. You know, you
Atletico
got your
Madrid.
Malmos. They could get players
The
from anywhere.
the club that I don't know if you guys remember, but Barcha at the beginning of the NEL, he got a club offer from a different Spanish club. I don't
That
remember
was
the club's
Porto. That
name.
No,
was not Spanish. That's
Italian.
That's a
Portuguese.
Spanish. That's Italian. My
That's
bad.
That's Portuguese.
I'm
Yeah,
so
okay.
bad.
Yeah, true.
I'm sober.
But
Yeah, true. Portuguese.
But my point being that his academy teammates, at least one of them or two, will be on this team, and I think that like he obviously that person won't have too much importance, but I think that could give us like a little peep into his experience when he moved to Japan. There's a big theory that there's the Ray Dog theory, like that's why he swapped positions to midfielder, which I believe Arrow has brought up a couple times. Another theory I've seen, and this is gonna sound a bit crazy, everyone in the chat just relax, right? Is actually racism. Like he experienced a form of what's the word? There's a word for it. Yeah, discrimination when
Discrimination.
he
Yeah.
because I've heard stories of footballers moving to foreign countries, and yes, he's on the academy team, so it's different. But it could still be that like his academy teammates didn't fucking, who is this fucking Japanese guy? Like, oh, who's this guy? Our Ashi kind of tackles that a little bit when we get to when they talk about like Barcelona and stuff later on in the series. But I just think the Spanish perspective would be cool, and it would also be cool if Spain doesn't play against Japan at the beginning. Maybe Spain plays against let me look at the list here, Egypt or Morocco.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. I want them to play France. Don't get it twisted. A Loki and Sai interaction would be fire as fuck. But I don't want to blow my horn too yet. I think Spain will encounter France though. Maybe
Keep
they go
that
on
thought in mind for my theory.
Yeah.
Keep that thought in mind.
Yeah.
Let me know, bro, because I got something that might suit.
Yeah.
Let you blow your horn a little early.
Another country I think is interesting is actually the United States. I know this sounds weird, but I think the US is an interesting choice because I remember seeing a lot of people like, where the fuck is Argentina? Why is USA the country that they chose? This is gonna be some crackhead shit. What's going on in the US right now? They're having conflicts with China. Who's the last teams that get revealed? US and China. Look, maybe Connoisseur's trying to I'm joking, nah. But it'd be interesting because the US, there's no disrespect to the United States at all either. They don't really care too much about soccer/football. They care, but they don't care enough. The basketball and NBA and basketball and like NFL is way bigger prospects. So maybe I want to see what Kaneshiro does with their mentality and their new gen. Maybe this new gen is a new gen that really cares about this shit, but his nation doesn't give a fuck. So he's trying to prove himself to the world. I think that would be an interesting character. A character who's like, man, I love this football shit. I just wish my nation did. A complete opposite to like Sai, right? Sai doesn't give a fuck about representing Japan, but he cares about representing the States. He's all American. He's like, yes, like I think this shit's gas. Maybe he has conflict with the England new gen because England football over here is people's lives. England playing football over here is like a very, very big in the UK. It's huge. As for the England new gen, I want twins. I want two wingers. I'm greedy. I want a right wing and a left wing.
That'd be so fire. Like I had this thought with Raven, and I said, wouldn't it be cool to get a twin new Gen 11s? One is a speedster, one is a dribbler, and have them both be wingers.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Like better version of Bachira and Shigiri on the wings.
Yeah,
that'd be dope. I think it'd be cool if they were like the Atsumu twins.
Myself as well.
If they were like the Atsumu twins in Haikyuu.
Oh yeah, Brazil versus Japan is gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah,
I
Brazil
think that match should be frightening, bro.
For some reason, I feel like Brazil, the new gen in Brazil is gonna like Bachira. I don't know why, but I feel
all
like
Brazilians love Barcha.
Yeah, I feel like the Brazilian new gen is gonna be like a Bachira rival. I don't know why. It just in my head, it makes the most sense to me.
You know, I had this thought for
Barcha is
Argentina that there was gonna be an Argentinian who was gonna kill the shit out of Barcha, but
yeah, that
that's
theory.
fucked in the head now.
Um, before, because I've been yapping for a minute. What do you guys think? How do all of you guys feel about Loki participating in this tournament? Because
I
I'm
am
not gonna
so
lie.
pissed because my next video was gonna talk about how Loki shouldn't be in this tournament. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fix that video, but fuck me, bro.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm not a fan of it personally.
Yeah.
I th- unless they're gonna nerf Loki in some way, I just can't see how it's fair for him to be in it. On top of
Mhm.
that, we've been told that he's a full blown pro. So why is he not playing with the senior team,
Yeah.
not the under 20s team? I know he can play for the under 20s team. That's fine. Um, and to be fair, you can represent both because the tournaments aren't at the same time.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's overkill, to be honest.
What
Especially if he's still not revealed to be
new
a
gen?
11.
I don't think he is. When I read the chapter,
Yeah,
because
I don't.
when the summary came, actually, sorry, Dadu, did you want to say something about? Oh, that is offline. So, OP.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think it makes sense for me because Loki's supposed to be the stepping stone that gets you towards Noah. Like, even Noah
Yeah.
said it himself. Like, Loki's the one that challenges me the most.
My
So the
Arrow, you
Blue
got food?
Lockers covering him first makes sense to me.
my
What's up?
my 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 oh like, my question was, I just asked everyone, like, how do they feel about Loki participating in this tournament? Do you think it's fair? Do you think he's smurfing a little bit, or do you think
Oh,
narratively makes sense that he's there?
I got a theory for you on this. It relates to Loki playing. All right.
Oh yeah,
Am I good to talk
yeah,
about it?
you could, yeah, go.
You guys good with it? All right.
Uh, you,
Um,
you good. Sorry.
it ties to Sai, right? So we just mentioned Sai representing Spain, right? And I do believe he's going to represent Spain over going to Japan. We get a lot of dialogue. We mentioned this already. I'm just going to do a quick skim through the dialogue with Barcha and Ego. He has his 23 players. He doesn't need anyone else to like. He doesn't want anyone else on the team. Like, he didn't get Nagi. He's probably not getting Sai, right? But what I think is going to happen is Sai is going to represent Spain. And I actually think Sai is going to face off against Loki and Charles in the first round of the World Cup knockout. Let me explain, right? So, Sai going into the matchup, right? You would have Sai, the New Gen 11, versus Loki and Charles. And obviously, I'm saying this now, I think Sai is going to get fucking destroyed. I think Spain will get obliterated by
Hmm?
Loki and Charles. I think when this happens, Sai is going to be like, fuck. Like, get a reality check. Later in the World Cup, around the semifinals, I'm predicting, I think BLUELOCK is going to face off against France. So they're going to have to face Loki and Charles. And I think they're going to beat them. I don't know how. I'll have to do some more digging into the series. But I do believe that Loki and Charles are going to lose to BLUELOCK. By doing this, Sai will officially remark Japan as having changed. It is a new revolutionized version of soccer. Because Japan just managed to defeat an opponent that Sai himself got destroyed by. His entire argument at the beginning of the series was he doesn't want to represent his country. He feels like he was born in the wrong country. But seeing Rin, Isagi, Shido, other Blue Lockers beat Loki, an opponent who he just said was beyond, who he would regard as being beyond his current limits, and they won, I feel like that would be the mark for him to want to return to Japan. However, I do not think he would just yet. I think it would happen after he achieved his dream of winning the Champions League, which I think would follow the U20 World Cup and would directly focus on Kaiser and Sai at Real performing together, playing together, going into the Champions League. I also think that Germany will be the final opponent for BLUELOCK to face off against, and they will lose. I think they will lose to Germany, and therefore lose to Kaiser and lose to Ness, who I think are both going to be on the German team. I think with Kaiser winning the World Cup and defeating Japan, and now going to Real in a Champions League arc, it would push Sai to want to be better because BLUELOCK defeated an opponent that he couldn't defeat, and now Sai is playing with someone who defeated BLUELOCK, who surpassed what they were capable of. So now Sai needs to get himself to a level where he can act, where now it's not the country who's unworthy of him, it's he who is unworthy of his country. So now going through the Champions League arc and achieving his dream, by doing that, he would have reached a level that he believes he is worthy to go back and represent Japan. And I think in the big final World Cup, Sai is going to return along with Sai, Isagi, Rin, those three minimum, and Aiku, I believe as well. Maybe Aiku, but they will be called up to the national team for the final World Cup. Sai will now fully be worthy of the country, as the country is now worthy of his skills, and they are going to be stacked going into the final World Cup to take on Noah. That's my prediction. There's definitely more to it, but I think that's definitely a good cause, especially because going into this final World Cup, it's likely to assume that Loki is going to be on the same team as Noah, since he's already playing for the France national team, and Noah would likely do the same as well. So Sai gets to rematch against Loki, now with better artillery, more people backing him, more people on his side. And if Charles is there too, it'd be a great experience for Charles, right? Because like Charles is a midfielder who I personally marked out as being the second greatest U20 midfielder in the world. I think he's like just under Sai. I think he's better than Theody, better than Ness, better than Rayo by a long shot, all them. If Sai gets to match up against Charles again, Charles probably would be pushed to evolve as well. So you have Loki, who defeated Sai. You have Charles, who's pushing to evolve. Sai, who's wanting to evolve at the same time. Noah, the best striker in the world. Isagi, Rin, maybe Shido, Aiku. Players who are going to be constantly keeping up and trying to compete at the highest level possible. So yeah, that's my theory. I think that's what's going to happen in the World Cup that leads into Sai returning and the whole plot point with them.
Okay.
Well, for me, right, we've not been told that Sai is going to participate in any capacity, have we?
We have.
Have we?
Oh, yeah. In the chapter, it said all of the new generation World 11 have gathered together.
All of them.
All of them.
Oh, yeah,
all of them. So all of them are playing.
That is true.
We only got name drops for Kaiser and Lorenzo, but with Loki being there and them saying all of them together, I'd assume Sai is going to be there as well.
I like that theory quite a lot. I think again it all weighs on Sai representing Spain, which is likely. Unless the Spanish New Gen is just some completely different fucking guy, which would be funny if he was.
Lamine Yamal.
Yo, he might actually like at this point he's blowing up in popularity.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
like the New Gen will be based on him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kanashiro
I
created
actually
Loki
wanted
when
him to
Mbappe
be
was
from
like
Morocco.
going crazy.
Where's he from originally?
Yeah, Yamal was actually mentioned in Bachira's Egoist Bible. I think it's Bachira's in one of
Is he Moroccan?
Egoist, in one of the Yamal?
Yeah, is he Moroccan?
He's Spanish.
No, by his parents. Is one of them Moroccan?
Yeah, his dad is Moroccan.
I knew it.
His dad's Moroccan, but he plays for the Spanish national team.
He gives up
Yamal, I think if Sai isn't the new gen in Spain, the new gen will be either 1,000% based on Yamal. He will be, because that's an under 20 player who's like right now he just won. What is it? The Copa del Rey, the Super Cup.
He won UEFA Euro. I would love to
Euros. Like he's
UEFA Euro, but yeah, he won the Euro. He's about to win the trouble with Barcelona. Not Champions League.
Where's your assumption though that those flags were the new generation 11? It could be any of them.
It could be, yeah.
It seems weird that like I'm pretty sure I saw a lot of people saying that Morocco, Egypt, USA, they seem weird to have new gen 11s, but not like Argentina or Portugal.
Yeah. I think only because the only reason it's just the way that Konashiro has framed it, right? I don't think he would have showed us, unless I'm like tripping. I don't think he would have showed us the flags and then would have and then Henri's like, oh yeah, by the way, also all of the new gen ahead, by the way, just letting you know. If I feel like their flags represent who these new gens are. As for France, I think, I mean, how greedy if there is a new gen and then Loki's also on the team and then Charles is also on the team. That'd be quite funny.
Yeah, I think that
that would be overkill. Hey, the new gen of France might be a fucking killer. We don't know.
Maybe
what would he be like though?
Even
Loki's a speedster. So who do you think? What do you think the other new gen 11 would be like?
If I remember French football correctly, But Dembele's old. I was gonna mention Dembele, but he's quite an old man. He
But
plays.
we have even Mbappe.
Uh,
Mbappe has a little brother.
yeah,
Yeah,
but his brother isn't that
good.
He
good.
isn't that good. I'm trying to think of some.
Yeah.
What he put in Desiree Doué. Desiree only started to like start cooking like
Yeah.
this season. I don't think you.
I would have to look into French youth players because I don't know much about the French national. I don't know.
How old is
Uh,
Barcola? You know Barcola, right?
I'll
PSG.
call it.
Marco.
Well, I don't.
Barcola. How old is he?
I don't know how old. But he's
I
young.
don't think he's under 20 though, and I don't think Kaneshiro would put him in that story.
But
We never know. We have
it
Someone
don't
Fernando Torres in the
necessarily have to be
story.
them. It can just be a player that I read.
Someone in the chat said, I don't know if you'll have any thoughts about this, but do you have any guesses on what the new gen's designs will look like? I don't know.
Raven. It's Raven. It
Listen,
looks like Raven.
I just want to see a new generation 11 goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want there to be an actual challenge for scoring goals. I don't want every shot to just fly in like it has
Yeah.
been so
I
far.
will tell you though, I guarantee you, we're going to have an orange-haired new gen or an orange accented one, and we're going to have a green one. So far, we've had like red for Sai, we've had blue for Kaiser, purple for Lorenzo, and yellow for Charles. We need green, and we need orange.
Charles
And
isn't new gen yet.
Yeah, but it's still a matter of like our star characters,
yeah.
like our
Okay,
star
okay.
characters. Like Sai is a very unique and star character, right? I'll say this: Sai was our star character of the U20 arc, right? Aiku, I guess you could say was another one, but I would mostly say it's Sai, right? If you want to count Aiku, that's fine, right? But Sai was red. Kaiser was the next one we got, and he was blue. Agi, a lot of people associate Agi's aura color, well, it's not confirmed, to be like an orange, like a nice mahogany or something, like an orange color, a burgundy maybe, but it's more orange, right? Then you have Lorenzo, who was purple, and then you have Charles, who had a yellow aura. So, in regards to that, I think green might be next, or it can be green or red, because if you want to count Aiku as green. If you want to count Aiku as green, then we're just cycling back, and it'll probably be someone red.
Yeah, Rin makes sense though for me personally.
I think in terms of design, I couldn't tell you anything about colors, but I think in terms of like physicality, I could see the US new gen. Whenever manga, anything to do with the US, it's always like very loud and out there. So I could see bro with like blonde hair. Probably tattoos underneath him. Probably ripped his shit. Tattoos, very loud and boisterous.
It's gonna look like Haitani from Embers.
Come on, he has to be a douchebag.
It'll look like Haitani from Embers.
Yeah.
Yo, they got a cameo. I guarantee you, at some point they will cameo in the story. Not like a main role, but like a background.
Because it's made by the editor, right? He helped edit Konoshiro stuff back in the day.
Well, no, it was an artist. It was an assistant.
Artist, yeah. So I could see a cameo. That'd be cool. Like maybe a poster.
No, even just like in the background. Or like it'd be cool, like in the spectators, you have like Yuga and Haitani just sitting on the TV watching the World Cup.
Watching the World Cup.
Or they cameo in the other way, so like they're watching it in their series and BLUELOCK's on the TV.
You're watching BLUELOCK TV.
BLUELOCK TV. Oh, they're like, oh, we should vote for Isagi. That'd be funny.
Yo, you fuck with Kaiser, bro? No, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Speaking of Kaiser, Germany is gonna be a problem in the U20 World Cup. I think Kaiser
winning the whole thing. Actually, I have Germany winning this whole thing.
I want.
I'm with you, Suki, on that.
I want Germany to win, but I'm also excited to see the rest of the German players, obviously, because I'm sure we're gonna see players from Berserk Dortmund, which was mentioned in the NEL. But I'm just curious to see how Kaiser's gonna perform on his national team compared to Boston. I think it's gonna be very
true. Ness is gonna have to put in some work.
It's like you have to
therapy is gonna be in session.
Boston worked because everyone followed Kaiser's like they were glazing him. They followed his role. He was the king. He was the emperor. He's going to be joining a team where he has to kind of share that spotlight with another individual or maybe they don't want to follow this guy.
That's good though. That's good. because
That's gonna make him
he's
evolve,
like
kind of
Bado
how
he's like
Isagi's been, you know?
He's like Bado and Reen. When someone else is a figurehead and he's more restricted, he does better. Imagine that's what Ness wants to do. Imagine Ness for the first half of the game doesn't send a single pass to Kaiser ever. Draws
But
that restriction
it's a
out of him,
part of
and
his
then
spell.
sends another drive pass that makes Kaiser evolve further, and then they score an insane goal, and that's where they kickstart.
Yeah.
Once Kaiser gets that zero mentality for half the game, that second half he cooks.
I think I agree with Arrow. I also think that like Ness is gonna convince the other players to eventually follow him too. I think that
Also,
like
sorry, finish it now. I'll say my thing.
oh no, I was just saying like you know how in like an RPG when you cast a spell on your entire team that gives them buffs. I think like it would be kind of cool if that was like the imagery.
Like Akashi, he puts his whole team into the zone.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
that would be sick.
But let me ask you, if you were in regards to Kaiser, right?
Okay.
What kind of player do you think he is? Is he more of a power player? Is he more of a strategist? Like, is he more of like a tactical player? Is he more of a speed player? In what regard would you frame Kaiser as a general aesthetic of a player? Because like Bado, I would argue is like a power and physical player. Same with like Kunigami. Isagi is more tactical. He's more team based. Right? He's more unifying. He brings people together and elevates them. How would you frame Kaiser? Because I would frame Kaiser as a mix of like tactician and speed based. Kaiser Impact, he's naturally fast. That's how I would frame Kaiser. I would frame him as being fast.
For me, it's a tactician.
Tactician. Yeah.
I'll definitely say fast.
Okay.
So,
Tactician and speed. He uses
let's
speed
assume-
for all his stuff, though.
Let's
And
assume
he's
then
tactical.
he's a mix of tactician and speed. Would it not be cool to have a secondary cannon who focuses more on power and brute force rather than strategy? So you have this big figurehead being like Bado, who like a mix of Bado and Kunigami, this overwhelming presence. That
Big German guy.
yeah, but not even that, just like his power shots make it like the Kaiser Impact is like a bullet, right?
Yeah.
It's like a very, very fast bullet. Make the other guy like a fucking cannon. Make his shots have so much power that even if Gagamaru can get to it, like he did the stealth
Shaolin Soccer!
have him block it, and then the ball just blasts through his hands. Like he can't block it. Give them like a cannon for a foot. So you have Kaiser, who is speed and precision, and this other guy who is strength, brute force, and just physicality. And then you have this overwhelming presence of like, think of it like a shotgun. You have a crazy guy running around with a shotgun on center stage. Everyone's attention's drawn to them, and then you have Kaiser, like a guy in the bushes with a Barrett sniper. Like, have that be Germany's like artillery.
I see what you're saying.
And have Ness bring out the best in both of them.
That would be cool. That would be really dope. As long as they bring back my glorious King Grim, I don't give a fuck. No, I'm joking.
Yo, I have a theory that I've been meaning to cook about. It's about China.
Okay.
I think they're gonna have the new gen goalkeeper.
They're gonna
I
have
was
the
gonna
goalkeeper.
give this theory
I
to
remember
South
this.
Korea, but
The Great
fuck,
Wall.
they're not a new gen. So basically, Sendo and IQ, they've been getting a lot of screen time, even in the latest chapter. So they're gonna have one match at least where it's dedicated to their flashback with what do you call it? The AFC, the Asian
AFC
Federal
Cup,
Cup?
yeah, the Asian Cup.
So I
They have
think
to participate
now
in
that
that.
South Korea's not it's gonna be China who beat them to win the cup. So they would have had a new gen goalkeeper
have a
who
rivalry
stopped
with him.
Sendo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they needed to have a rival. So China's gonna have the new gen goalkeeper who stopped Sendo in every shot. So that'll be the game.
There's one issue.
Sendo
If it's
game
like
in the
if Sendo is like, we played these guys and what was the competition? What was the tournament?
AFC.
It's
AFC.
Oh,
Asian
like, okay,
Cup.
let's say he goes, we played these guys in the AFC, right? Let's just say he does that. And he says, every time I shot, I couldn't get a single one off. Sendo didn't get a single shot off anyways. The only goal he's ever scored or anything of merit he's done was saves or the one goal in against Manshine. Aside from that, he got stopped by Gagamaru on his first game ever. So that means literally nothing. Oh, they stopped me every time I shot. Sendo was never a good shooter to begin with. So like,
I think having some rivalry with China would be interesting if that's oh yeah, we lost to them, it's time to run it back, and Isagi's like, Isagi's putting all the puzzle pieces together. All right, that's how we can do this. I I don't know. I feel like I like the idea that it could be. Then again, the goalkeeper could be from anywhere.
Yeah, I
I
just want China to have an importance. That's my
Yeah,
main
China.
thing.
I think they will. I
Yeah,
think they will
China
be
needs to have
involved.
an importance. I
think
wanted
they
it
will
to
be
be
involved.
South Korea, but I'm like, fuck, they're
'Cause-
not in the new gen.
'cause
They're
category.
China-
they're gonna have Sung Jinu.
Yeah,
Sung
so if
Jin,
South Korea is not gonna have importance, then I have to put
I've-
my fury over to China now. Fuck me.
I think China's in a similar boat with Japan though in terms of football, because football over there as well isn't like as big as it is in other countries. They have their own league, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know how huge it is. So maybe that could be a
They pay a
talking point.
lot, that's for sure.
They do pay a lot. Hey, maybe they want in some of this on some of this Blue Lock cash, on some of this Blue Lock TV cash, bro. Make some money, bro.
Here's my question though about Blue Lock TV that I always wondered about.
Mhm.
When did the other countries start giving a shit? Like
Uh,
they gave a shit after they beat Japan, right?
Yeah.
But Japan was already known to not be good. So why would the rest of the countries give a shit?
So I'm
Like seriously,
assuming
is it all Psy? Was it legitimately just Psy? Like if Psy wasn't there, do you think they would have given a shit?
I don't think they would have given a fuck, but they do. Even in real life, Japan is they want to succeed, especially in the last World Cup that happened. They really wanted Japan to go all the way. There was a
played
lot
well.
of faith in Japan. They did play well. That's why Blue Lock existed. I'm pretty sure Kaneshiro was just frustrated that Japan kept losing. I've heard in like an interview, like one of the core reasons he made this manga was because like he was just pissed off. He's like, Japan keeps fucking losing all the time. I want us to win. So
If they're gonna win, I guess I have to write it myself.
yeah, I have to write it myself. I'm guessing the new Gen 11 goalkeeper could be from the US. Someone said in the comments. I don't know about US.
That is the Great Wall that Trump wanted to build.
Yeah,
He's
shit.
the
That's
Great
why
Wall.
Mexico. That's why Mexico is in the country. So it sucks.
Right, guys, let's go to this question Kit K asked before,
Okay.
which is any predictions on which character beside Isagi will get the most focus during the arc, or do you think everyone will get a little bit of time to shine?
I think more characters than others. I think obviously like I think Rin will get some focus when they play against Spain. 100% Rin has to be like, I think Rin has to be the main guy. Like he has to be the main focus on Spain, because that's what fucked his brother over if they do play against.
But do you think they'll play Spain at all? Like I don't think they'll touch
That's
him at all.
true. That's true. They might not touch him.
I don't think they'll touch Spain. Like,
If-
again, I think they'll lose
Really?
to Loki I think Spain's gonna lose to Loki in the first round.
If Rin plays if they play France, I want Rin. I think one of the people in the crowd literally said, "Would we get to see Rin versus Loki?" So they clearly, I think Kaneshiro is trying to hint at something. What else was the question? Sorry, repeat the questions. Any prediction characters besides Isagi? I think IQ will get focus a lot. I don't know how far Japan has made it. It's clear that the previous U20 didn't make it this far, and I feel like IQ out of everyone is gonna want to win this more than anyone else, because like this will mean a lot to him, personally. Him and Sendo, because again, him and Sendo's team, they're gone from the NEL. All of the old U20 team, they're basically all gone. They're the two left. Except
Fukaku.
Only
Except
three
I
left.
think Fukaku, Aiku, and Sendo. This is gonna mean the world to them. If they can win this here, it's gonna mean like their friend, like basically like their friend's sacrifice wasn't in vain, bro. They weren't sitting on the bench for nothing. They have to win this.
Sendo scoring the final goal, and all of the former U20 players at home watching on the TV,
Yeah,
just like cheer, like fuck yeah.
I think Hiyori will have more to do. The author has confirmed Bachira will have more to do. He literally said Bachira will be important in the next arc, so Bachira will have more to do.
Bachira, Sendo, Kunigami, and then maybe Chigiri, but I don't think he said Chigiri. I think it was those three 100% he mentioned.
Kunigami is gonna reawaken. He's gonna go back to his old hero. I think he's gonna. I have a theory. My theory, and I don't want to derail too much, but I think Kunigami will come back to us. The old Kunigami will come back to us when Chigiri tears his ACL. That's my. I posted it on Reddit a couple of days ago. Actually, did very well. But I think that's when the old Kunigami will shine through, because I don't want to get too much into it, but Kunigami's been the most emotionally distanced to Chigiri. So something bad happened. What did Chigiri say in the Manshine game? Keep looking out for me, hero.
Yeah.
And if something bad happens to him, I feel like that's when Kunigami is his shell's gonna crack. He's gonna actually feel like
My
emotion,
baby.
basically. But yeah, those are the characters I think will be. Oh, and I hope Kyorijin gets more, bro. Because Kyorijin in the NEL, bro, I don't know what the fuck that shit was. So dude, I hope he gets to do
see,
more in the actual arc.
see, my thing is I do think we're gonna have a little bit of exposition for most of the characters. Uh, I can't see it being all of them, but I think most of the characters will have their moments to shine. Um, Personally, what I'd like to see is Isagi hold bench for some time, Rin hold bench for some time. I know Barrow's gonna be holding bench for some time. I want to
Mhm.
see all the out and out strikers hold bench for some time and see
How
what.
would Raito, if
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
them to hold bench, how would you feel about like the thing that they did with Haikyuu, where Hinata had to come out because he was sick? Like
Okay.
they haven't done that before because Blue Lock they've been in this isolated facility that's been well taken care of by Ego and Henri. So like
Hmm.
they never get sick. But now going onto the world stage, they're not in that isolated environment anymore. They have a very good chance of getting sick or getting ill and
Yeah.
not being able to play. Would you be interested in seeing like Isagi do that? Like especially someone like Isagi who mentally would burn out. Like
Hmm.
what if like he's playing the game, he's like, for some reason my reactions are slower. Even I can't process everything as fast. And then
Yeah.
during halftime, he comes on and then like he just like faints. And
For
then
sure.
That'd be cool.
I'll,
That'd
I'll
be
I'll be happy with that. I'd like to, you see, I quite like the stuff outside of the football. So I'd like to see the characters interact with the maybe other new Gen 11 or even just other countries players outside of football. See what those dynamics are like. I think like what's it called? Embers does that a lot, where the characters interact outside of football, and
yeah,
I'd like to see a bit more of that in Blue Lock. But I'd like them to hold bench because I'd like to see what everyone brings on their own, especially Sendo. Let's see like what Sendo can do in this world stage, and then I think it's best for them to fight it out to see who can be that starting striker. So instead of doing like the whole everyone was saying do like a training arc and 11v11, instead of doing any of that stuff,
yeah,
ego rotate strikers, and then the best one out of them, the most effective one out of them, will end up being the one to have that starting berth in the finals. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
Yo,
Um,
right. So I have a question for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think Sendo's gonna do if he sees Kaiser's mom attend one of these games?
oh no.
Very serious question.
Oh, actually, funnily that you bring that up. Kanashiro confirmed. I don't know if you guys noticed. His
Yeah, Kaiser
mom,
and his
his
mom
mom
don't
don't interact.
talk.
Like they don't
Yeah,
speak, right?
I
So
know
she's
that.
kind
yeah.
of she's somewhat unaware that like her son
Well,
is a
I'm
celebrity.
sure she
No?
knows. I'm
I'm
sure
sure
she
she knows,
knows.
but she doesn't
She
give a
probably
damn.
knows, but she probably just
She
doesn't
doesn't
Do you
care.
tweet.
do you think do you guys think there'll be a moment maybe before a game where like she rings up and checks it
No.
like actually
Nah,
do
I
you have
don't. I don't.
or
Nah,
like
because if she
or
He
hasn't
like
left.
done it
He
yet,
left
why the
when he
fuck is
was
she
an
gonna do it
infant.
now?
or like cuts to her watching his game?
No, she
Maybe.
left. She left when
Mm.
she left for one. She left when he was an
He was a
infant.
baby.
Yeah.
Two, he doesn't share the same name as his mom. He shares the
Yeah.
his like Kaiser is the father's name.
Yeah.
Typically, or I'm gonna assume he would take the father's name
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
in that
Yeah.
situation.
I
So it's
saw
not even
Third,
her last
in
name,
in
so she
in
doesn't even
and
know.
at that point, she may be like, "Huh, we look similar," but she probably
what the
wouldn't even
fuck.
like.
She
She
wouldn't put
probably
No.
wouldn't
two
know
together.
it's him. Like
Yeah.
She
they
doesn't
didn't get
even know
married.
it's his
They
son.
just had a
My son's a
scandal of having a
superstar?
kid together, but they were never married. They didn't get divorced.
Yeah,
Nothing.
the
So
only reason I brought this up is because I saw this really cool fan art where it was like she's basically taking another one of her, like her, I don't know, like a child or someone. She's taking her to get an
Oh.
autograph from Kaiser, and she kind of stares at Kaiser like, what the fuck? Like he kind of look familiar. And then she's
yeah,
like,
I,
oh, she's like,
I
ah,
think
nah, never
I
mind.
think I like
Oh,
the
I
idea
seen
of
that
being
one.
absent. I think it's cool that they're absent though. I think it'd be better that they're
It's
absent.
a very beautiful artwork. I'm cool. It's cool that it's absent. I'm very curious. I
Can
would
someone send
wonder.
it in the
if
group chat? I would like to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
All right, I got two
I'll see if I
questions.
can find it.
I got two questions for you guys. Number one, who do you think is going to score the first goal of the World Cup from Japan? So out of the
Ooh.
Japanese players, who
Rin.
is scoring the very first goal?
I
Ooh.
got Rin.
I have Isagi.
My
Yeah,
money's on
same.
Shido. My money's on
Shido?
Shido. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
I think
yeah.
they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna go into the second half 0-3. I think they're gonna be going down 3 goals. Because again, they gotta
Okay, that makes sense.
refine
Yeah.
chemistry, formations, chemical reactions, all that stuff. Going into the second half, they're all nervous. Put Shido on as an impact sub. Have him come on, link up with Yori or even Rayo and score. Like put Rayo on for compatibility. He can copy almost anyone on the team, so he can manage chemical reactions a lot better that way. He can copy Sai. He has meta vision. Have him link up with Shido, a character who he himself has said is the closest to Nagi in the entire series. Have Shido score the first goal. Have him recreate his Big Bang drive. The Big Bang to open up the World Cup. Big Bang that started it all, the Big Bang to open up the World Cup and start Japan's and reignite Japan's fire. I think Shido's a good pick for starting goal.
Yeah, now that you say that, for sure. Like, to be fair, it didn't cross my mind because, bro, Shido's like the last striker I'm thinking about, to be honest. But yeah, now that you say that, it makes perfect sense. But if it wasn't Shido, then my money would be on Rin because of the fact that he was one of, apart from Shido, one of the ones to score against the World Five.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a good way to establish that Rin is already that level. Not World 5 level, but I mean like the level to be playing international U20 football. But yeah, my money would be on Rin if not Shido.
Do you think Chigiri? Chigiri's got a very consistent goal scoring formula.
Ooh,
Probably,
yeah.
I would argue the most consistent. If he can just
Rayo
get the
starts,
ball
I
there,
think
he's scoring goal almost
immediately
every.
passing get a Chigiri, bro. Not wasting any time. Boom. 40. Wait, what's it called? 44.
44 Panthers have.
Yeah, he's doing that immediately if Chigiri gets the ball.
Well, I hate officials and unofficials are so weird because 44 Panther Snipe is engraved into my brain, but it's canonically called the 44-degree Red Panther Sniper. Fucking long ass name.
Horrible name.
But his Nagi's 5-stage. We all call it the 5-stage revolver fig volley. In canon, it's called the 5-fold revolutionary feint volley.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's long.
Who is saying all that?
Hell no.
Like the names are, and it makes me wonder what are they gonna do for like the anime, for instance, because the anime went off the unofficials because Nagi called it the 2-stage fake volley in the anime, but in the manga it's the 2-stage feint volley shot. So are they sticking with? Are they gonna call it the fan names or the canon names?
And it makes it
Not
even
like it
worse.
matters. I'm just curious.
Makes it even worse when it's dubbed because then they have to match the lip flap. So what the fuck are they gonna call it in the dub too? It's just a lot.
Like for Chigiri and for Nagi's goal there, that you don't see their mouths because it's just a internal dialogue or like monologue or something or commentary or whatever that. Yeah. It's just not reference to like lip flaps. It's just relation to timing. So how much time do they have, and if they have enough time?
Yeah. To be fair, I think they should go with the simpler translation. It just hits better.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't matter what it's called. I'm just asking. Okay. Doesn't fucking matter, but
first goal that I want to see BLUELOCK score. I don't know. I kind of want someone unexpected. To be fair, who hasn't scored anything? I think.
Karasu,
Well, it depends. Do you consider
Torture.
recent anything, or do you just consider low number? Because like
Just low number in a while.
like Yukimiya and Rao, they've only
Ooh.
scored.
Oh my god! If Yukimiya, I will say it will bring a smile to my face if Yukimiya finally lands his fucking shot. Like he finally gets it in. And he's like,
I
"Yay, I
need
did
another sword screw.
it." That'd be cool.
Okay,
The sword
wait.
screw would be dope.
There's another follow-up question I have then. Well, there's two more now. There's an extra one I added. What shooting style do you want to see used again? Because like okay, Nagi tried to do his 5-stage again against Barcha, right? So we tried to recreate it.
Yeah.
What goal scoring technique do you want to see used again? I don't want to see twin gun volley. I don't want to see crash shoot. I don't even want to see stealth kill shot. But like sword screw, another Travella from like Rayo could be interesting.
I think a knuckleball. Knuckleball. I haven't seen a knuckleball in a while. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Kunigami knuckleball could be cool.
Yeah, I like that one. It's pretty dope.
Or Bachata could do what Lavinho
Wait.
did: dribble through people, sing a song, and then do a bow and tap in.
Yeah,
If we
I
get
think
a
that's
RU
a
header,
Neymar.
like, from
That's a
a corner or
Neymar
something
reference.
like that, that'd be neat to see too. That
I-
doesn't get a defender scoring from a corner. Arsenal style, you know, Raito?
Yeah.
I want Rayo to copy. I want Rayo to be a demon in this arc. He's going to be a demon. He doesn't have Nagi anymore. He has no excuse. Like this arc, even the way he was looking on that bus, I don't know. Rayo's planning something devious. He's gonna do probably the Magnus Impact, bro. Like I don't know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do something crazy.
You know
Probably.
one thing Isagi doesn't have anymore?
What?
There's no mics, so I don't think they're gonna provide them with mics like how they did with Danielle. So that means Isagi can't just be eavesdropping on other people's conversations and then picking up stuff. Because
Actually,
the only reason Isagi figured out the restrictive thing from Kaiser is because bro was listening into some emotional
So-
love life story, bro. He always be doing this
So-
stuff.
another thing I was gonna bring up is that obviously this character is gonna be speaking in foreign languages. I'm pretty sure the Mikage Corp is gonna sponsor this tournament.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the headphones again. They're gonna have the earpiece.
I don't want that, bro.
BLUELOCK
You're gonna be
100%.
plotting at these
Heavy
streets, not gonna give them ear
BLUELOCK-
damage.
BLUELOCK-
How?
Well, Suki, though, the thing is, right, the reason why the World Cup's been moved to Japan is because of BLUELOCK's influence, which means BLUELOCK TV, which means they're gonna be mic'd
Yeah,
up.
they're gonna use the mic. Yeah, they're
I
gonna use the mic.
I
So
know, but the consistency with how the mics were not fucking up their ears needs to be explained.
it's a
Mikage
shonen
Tech.
manga. It's also Mikage Tech. It's a shonen manga, so don't think about too deeply about it.
That
think-
always irritated
I
me,
think,
especially when
It's
you jump
Mikage
on
Tech, bro.
Isagi. I'm like, what's going on here? How is man not getting brain
Look,
damage?
also, again, fat motherfucker said he wanted to make this a money-making machine. If he can get a Mikage sponsor, we're in. But we're
100%.
actually making so much cash because other countries gonna be like, damn, this tech is crazy. We could use this for the fucking Champions League. You can use this for other club things.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah. Now, I think, right. I think that what we need to do is we need to see like a team that's like super coordinated, not like similar to the way
Ubers.
the way Ubers are, but not
Yeah.
not quite like as regimented, but just like, you know, a team that's well coached.
Yeah.
I
The
know.
moment BLUELOCK attacks,
Kind of like Kamo Medai.
yeah. The moment BLUELOCK attacks, it's everyone back to defend. You know, they set up a low block. BLUELOCK now have to try and find a way around the block. Like I want to see some tactical shit.
Someone said in the chat, Raichi to get a red card. That's another thing I want to ask you guys. Like,
Ooh,
these guys, this is because like in the NEL, I think Isagi almost gets a red card.
yeah.
Like,
Fine, this
barely,
isn't
like,
even like 45
He
minutes.
barely-
So
he
yeah, there's
barely-
a very good chance one of these guys gets a red card. Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
imagine a situation where Isagi gets his very first red card. Like he just off, like he can't play. That'd be crazy. And he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I know, like Isagi is gonna have to take some breaks because, like, even though he's mastered Metavision, these aren't like 90 games.
That was my biggest flaw with the NEL, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it was a bit annoying that like Metavision is explained and nowhere explains that it takes a lot out of you. And even Isagi says, "Oh damn, I'm exhausted." But then after the Manshine game, bro just uses it in every game with like 0 fatigue. I think he gets fatigued a little bit in PXG. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that was because of Metavision though.
But
But
yeah,
Konagami like trains him to do so, and it's not like it's
yeah.
a freaking
yeah,
full
he does.
game.
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
know
he'll
he
come
does
back
get.
in the World Cup for sure.
I know he does get trained in it, but that is my issue. One of my biggest I love Metavision. I love the design. I think it's cool. I just think my biggest problem with it is like a tiny bit of narrative inconsistency where it's like, yeah, that boy Isagi could just have the Sharingan on for like the whole 45-minute game.
Well, that's
And
what he
then
that's what he trained for.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then he
yeah, no.
like from Manshine to Ubers, he trained his stamina so we could use it for 100% of the game.
Yeah, I know. I hope in the U20 World Cup that like yes, Vo it's trained and Vo he can have it on for that long. I do hope there has to be like it's cool that he has it on all the time. And it's cool that these players have it on. It's a normal thing in pro football. That's what they've explained to us in BLUELOCK. It's a normal thing. Most pros have this ability, but then I thought that's what it was. Like a lot of pros
No,
have it. Only some people
no.
do. It's
It's
only
not
talented
like
runners.
that.
he said not all pros have the
Oh
ability.
no, all pros. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
It's some pros, but not
Um,
all pros, because it's still very limited on how the ability works,
do you,
on whether or not you get it or you have the
do you
technique.
someone's kids Kate Bear said, "Do y'all think we'll get new eye designs, or are there enough eye designs?"
Now we need more goalkeeper eye design for sure, bro.
I need goalkeeper vision.
Talk this shit, bro.
What would it be though? Like,
I don't know, Nick. I'm sorry.
You don't relax.
okay,
Rectangle.
if you're a goalkeeper, would you rather have Metavision or Predator Eye? Which do you think would be better for a goalkeeper to have? Because I think both would work fine. Like, both would work great.
I asked this question earlier. I think Predator Eye is the option.
Yeah,
Or you want Metavision, but when the person's shooting, you know what I'm saying, Brev? Put that on Predator eyes, target on the ball. But before the shot, you gotta put on Metavision because you gotta get the grasp.
Well, you can only use one or the other. Which one would you rather have? Metavision to like track where the ball is going to be at for the final shot, or Predator Eye so when the ball finally gets there, you can time it perfectly to block.
I would have Metavision personally.
I would have Metavision as long as you have the good speed.
No,
It's kind of like Kaiser, you know.
Personally, I'm taking Predator Eye to be a goalkeeper.
Yeah, because it boosts your reaction. Like, remember what Rin did?
Yeah.
He
yeah.
like he reacted to Kaiser Impact just off
Yeah.
instinct with Predator Eye.
It
That's
depends
insane.
on the goalkeeper's stats, you know, because
Well, he also just needed to move. It's not like he moved a far distance. He just spun. He just turned in place. And
But he
playing
wouldn't
out.
have reacted.
He needed the eye for it.
Yeah.
I want to see
Well,
more of the
I
eyes
think
that Charles
he didn't
have.
need the eye for it. He just awakened the eye while having the play. Like,
Yeah, but it's because of the concentration he had. His concentration was on stopping the link up between Kaiser and isagi, and that was his Predator Eye moment.
Yeah, like I think like
it's more.
Predator.
Physically, you still have
like,
to be able to stop it. Yeah,
I'm
but-
sure he probably still could have reached the thing. He just needed to figure out how to get there.
Physically,
or like figure out where he's
able to reach
move
for
to.
sure.
It's not like a reaction thing. He's just like, okay, I just need to,
No,
move here, or figure out which way he needs to move his body.
Yeah.
No, but it would also boost his reaction because when you're using Predator Eye, you're hyper fixating. So all the other noise, all the things around you get dulled out, increasing your reaction speed. So it would help you react faster.
I think both of them are useful as a goalkeeper in different situations and scenarios. However, if I had to pick one, I'd choose Metavision personally. But I understand the argument for Predator's Eye. Someone in the chat said Predator Eye low-key overrated. It's nothing special and all depends on the person themselves.
Wrong.
How we thinking, boys?
I agree.
I really disagree.
For a goalkeeper, especially when the person who's about to shoot is about to shoot. Predator Eyes comes in clutch for those moments.
Predator Eye is great for precision plays.
Yes, like if you have a 1v1 moment, Predator Eyes is gonna come in clutch.
That's like saying Metavision is overrated because it just depends on the person. It's still a really good ability. Sure, the person makes it great, but it's still broken. If you have the ability, you're automatically going to be doing superior to someone else without the ability. Like, that's just...
Not
Do you
gonna
guys
lie.
think this is possible?
Someone's waiting for it to be both used.
Not gonna lie, wait for a player to somehow
hasn't
use
Arrow
both
established this
simultaneously.
already? We're pissing him off now.
No. He means like both activated at the same.
both activated.
I know,
that
but
was,
Arrow's talked about this so many times, bro.
You
That's
can't
physically impossible.
you can't expand your vision and narrow it at the same time.
This is not fucking Gojo with the 6
You be
eyes.
okay,
or,
okay.
What
It's
about Oliver IQ? He's got 2 different eye colors. Maybe he can.
That doesn't mean shit. He's got heterochromia.
okay. But guess what? When they introduce a new gen who uses echolocation, it's cooked. What now? What now?
What is he?
Now he
What
uses
the
both.
fuck is he? A
Daredevil New
bat?
Gen.
Was he a fucking bat?
No, there's a no. I think there are some blind sport players who use echo. I actually looked into it. They
Is he
use,
like a
echolocation
clicker
to
from The
play.
Last of Us? He just screams and just runs around the pitch.
Um,
Screams top of his lungs, finds the ball,
do you
and
what do you
just
what do
starts
you
fighting the shit
what
out
do
of
you
it.
guys do? You think more people will show up with the Charles eye design? Because isn't that like a different thing?
I
The
hope
Charles
so.
eyes. Is that like a different thing? I think it's a different
What?
thing, right? The one that Charles has, the one that Charles had, the little
Oh,
when
the
he's
sniper eye.
yeah when he's. Do you think that's gonna show up more in the U20?
I really hope so.
I like
Yeah.
that
I
design.
thought that Carlos had it. Is it Carlos?
Pablo.
Pablo. That's the
Cavazos?
Pablo. Yeah.
I thought he does.
Pablo
I
had
think
it.
he has. I think it confirmed in episode Nagi that he has metavision.
Yeah,
Well, that's what Pablo has. Yeah, he has
yeah.
metavision.
I, I'm hoping more players have what Charles has.
More flow eyes.
We've had no explanation to what it actually is
Yeah,
anyway.
we don't know. Yeah, I I think they might. I mean, if France is going to be an obstacle and Charles is playing, they're probably going to delve back into it.
Yeah.
If anything.
I
Uh,
what I'm waiting on. What I'm hoping on is the the assassin the Karasu eyes.
oh yeah, that's cool.
I really want him to have those eyes back because I think in NEL he's not even once did he use it. And I don't know if maybe it's a retcon or something.
Oh, is that the eye? Like the
Kind of changed. In the first selection, he's going after the weakest person. Now we see him in the. He doesn't do shit, but in the U20 he goes after side, the strongest person, and then again, Bastard, he goes after the strongest person, Kaiser, for most of the match. So it's really hard to use your eye when you're changing your perspective of the target.
I don't think that's an eye type anymore. Like
Yeah,
the
feel
creator
they've
worked on
retconned
the
it.
anime, and when you look at how the anime adapted both Karasu and Loki, it just looks like a normal design for their eye. It doesn't look like anything. It's just supposed to signify like the specific style of like when you have the outer ring being darker and then the inner ring being lighter, and then you have the pupil being white. Like
I really think it was meant to be something, but it's been removed. Like it's been retconned.
Someone said Pablo has a weird design for his metavision though. His
It's
design was
dirty.
reversed and shading to an unusual metavision. We've seen different metavision designs.
his eyes just
on the
darker.
rest.
His eyes
Yeah,
are
it's
just
not-
darker.
Yeah, it's like Aiku.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aiku had like a one dark
Have
metavision. Not just
different
because that eye was darker color than the other one.
Yeah.
Like, what about Izzy? Izzy is the same. Like, he has darker eyes, so the lines are white. When you have like Kaiser, his eyes are lighter, so the lines are dark. Like,
Also, I know obviously a character can't have both. It's impossible, right? But if I had to pick one in this fake fictional scenario, you know who I would pick to somehow find a way to get both? Rayo. I don't know how he'd do it. I don't know how he would be able to do it. I just feel like
to
he'd do
get
some
both or
bullshit.
use both
Just use both. I feel
at
like
the same time.
yeah, I feel like he'd do some fucking crazy shit. to figure it
Rayo would
out.
probably be the person to switch between them.
That'd be
Like,
cool.
boom, 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 boom. Like turning them on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off.
It's like when Goku goes from Super Saiyan Blue to Red back to Blue to Red, like kind of his
Oh,
god form.
yeah.
Oh, that was fire.
Yeah, like imagine Rayo or even like Kaiser, final World Cup game in the U20 World Cup.
Yeah.
He's doing a solo break through the field by himself. He's using Metavision. He then turns Predator Eye on when someone comes to match up against him. He beats them and then immediately turns Metavision back on and just constantly does that switch over and over and over.
He does that.
He did that for the bicycle kick goal.
Yeah.
No, he only turned it on at the last second.
Yeah.
Of course, but it was like Predator Eye to Metavision back to Predator Eye.
No, he didn't have any eye design, and he had his eyes that were in flow when he intercepted the pass. He had Metavision when Sendo came up, and then he had Predator Eye when he took the shot.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like a constant rotation back and forth.
back and forth.
We've only ever seen Kaiser stick with one. During his awakening before the Magnus, only Predator Eye. When he teamed up with Isagi, like only Metavision.
I feel
Never-
so bad for
Every time he
Kawashiro.
shoots though, he does say Predator Eye, pretty much almost every
Yeah.
time he shoots, yeah.
Every time he shoots, he does. But it's just a matter of I want constant rotation, even before he gets to the net.
Yeah.
Pour
But I
one
think-
out for Konoshiro's artist for that scene, bro, because I don't know how he's gonna fucking
I think now that Predator Eye has been established as something that can be used outside of shooting, I think we're gonna see more of that now. Because I think before Rin used it, we didn't know that Predator Eye could be used for something other than shooting.
Yeah, I can. Kaiser did it against Ness. He said, "Shut the fuck up, you little shit."
Kaiser's been using it just any time.
Yeah, Kaiser
was
forever.
if Kaiser could use it just normally when talking to someone, or even just running around the field, not goal scoring, he's gonna be able. It would be under the context of being able to use it.
Yeah, but we didn't know that it could be used defensively.
Yes, we did.
Did we?
If Kaiser can simply use the ability when running around without possession of the ball, who's to say he can't use it when defending?
That's in hindsight. I'm talking before Rin used it to defend. We didn't think that was a thing.
I mean, Kaiser used it to try and
but
slide
we
tackle
did.
Isagi. Like
It's
he used it.
Even before we saw Rin use it to block someone, if we are under the impression that Kaiser can just, if it's just hyperfixation, it's just hyperfixation.
No, I get the concept, right? But
are you saying Rin was the first instance of it happening?
Did people really predict?
That Rin shouldn't be able to do it because it's a defensive mechanism.
Are you saying that Rin was the first instance of it happening, or are you saying that because before Rin did it,
Ratio thing is that back then,
people didn't think
people didn't think he could do it. Yeah,
people didn't think that it could be used defensively.
Nobody said
in universe or IRL.
IRL
in real life. Yeah.
Oh,
lots of dumbasses.
I thought this has been a known thing.
No, it's not. No,
a lot of people are dumb on TikTok.
What's the argument?
Assuming
we take Green completely out of the equation, what circumstance tells you you cannot use it on defense?
No, but that's not what I'm saying though.
You're saying people didn't know that. What evidence pointed to that?
No, but we know conceptually you can, right? But we've never seen anyone do it, so people did assume that it wasn't a thing.
But you can assume when Kaiser uses it outside of goal scoring that therefore, or even without
when
the
did
ball,
Kaiser use it outside of goal scoring?
Chapter 263. Chapter 263. Isagi had possession of the ball. Kaiser reawakened, activated Predator.
Let me get it up. One sec.
Yeah, and he tries to
go chapter 263. Go to chapter 263. End of 262.
Let me go. Let me look up right now. 263. Weep Central. They should sponsor us.
But he uses it way before 263, doesn't he?
But I'm just giving this instance. If you go to end of 262.
Yeah,
end of 262. Kaiser final page doesn't have the ball, has Predator Eye activated.
Yeah, so he's running. Yeah, my fellow piece of shit. Yeah, he has Predator Eye activated. He's running towards it. I think what Ratio was trying to say
but
was
that doesn't tell me nothing though.
But it does. It tells you that he can use it outside of goal scoring opportunities and goal scoring situations where he does not have possession of the ball. I will send you a panel right here. From
that, people aren't making the connection that it can be used as for defense.
I'm pretty sure you're just not making that connection. Every person I've spoken to after this chapter knew that.
To give Ratio some credit, I do remember when that chapter came out. No one was really saying anything.
No one was saying that.
There are a few people.
Yeah. I didn't hear a single person not saying that.
That's
crazy.
So many people everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. Everyone agreed. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's obvious.
I guess we're on two different sides.
Yeah. I'm so confused.
You got a different
Kaiser can use the ability without possession of the ball. If Kaiser can use the ability outside of possession of the ball, why would Rin ever
used it
anywhere? Plus,
only when Rin used it was it really talked about.
Regardless, I guess we both had different. We had different experiences with it. Hello, Leo. Sorry, welcome.
Leo, can you hear us? Are you delayed?
Suki, usually I'm not agreeing with those topics, but I will agree with you this time. God damn!
Yeah. let's talk.
I was just saying anything to get off the
Hon-
topic we were just doing, bro. I just needed something, and then I
Let's
look at
Henri,
let's
Henri,
talk, man. Because wow,
She rocking the Metavision fit.
wow.
Henri's pretty. I love. I guys. I don't know how you guys feel about Henri. I actually really like Henri as a character.
I
I
love
wish
Thierry
she.
Henry.
She. I. For some reason, I feel like she feels like a big sister to the Blue Lock boys too. Sometimes she's really sticking her head out for them, and she really cares about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a shame that like I feel like sometimes I can't lie. Sometimes the way Kaneshiro writes the dialogue, with the way Ego treats her, it's kind of like, yo, this is a bit crazy. Obviously she's naive, and it's not meant to be perceived as anything rude. I just wish that like it wasn't as aggressive as it is, but it is what it is, man.
I will say there's one thing I hate about this though,
Mm.
and it's not Henri's fault, or even the way that the writing could. I don't think there'd be a way to make it better without dedicating a chapter to it. At the start of the chapter, when Henri was giving a speech, all the reporters were just commenting on her boobs. Now you don't see
Were
it
they?
mentioned at all. No
Were
one
they?
ever mentioned. It's not mentioned a single time in this chapter. But when she's giving her speech in chapter 4, everyone's
Oh yeah,
one's really caring. Everyone's just talking about her boobs.
so that I believe, if I remember correctly, like someone wrote in the comments, like it's supposed to represent how corrupt the Japanese
Yeah.
Football Association is. They're just
Yeah,
weirdos.
I get that. It's just a matter of like, I wish it was not because of like the Blue Lock fan, like the Blue Lock boys that made her get the respect.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she just should have had the respect to
She-
begin
I mean,
with.
Like, she's the reason why we have this project to begin.
Yeah, but they don't acknowledge. They don't really like. It's not
Yeah,
really acknowledged in the story. It's more acknowledged as Ego's this person. But like Henri was only ever treated as just like eye candy, like early chapters.
Yeah.
By the president and by the reporters, they always just commented on her body, and that was it. Now they're all very interested in what she's saying. Like they're engaging with her directly. Like, hey, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think? And she's like, yes, and gives her thoughts. That's great, but it's not because of her efforts. It's because of the Blue Lock players, which is understandable. They made this shit happen, but Henri's like involvement should not be underestimated. And I feel like that's something cool to acknowledge, and I feel like that's something that isn't acknowledged enough.
It could be that Kaneshiro maybe looked back on how he did that and was like, ooh, maybe, I want Henri to be more of a character. I do like that they are engaging with her now, and she isn't being used as back in
Has
early Blue.
anyone seen her talk to any Blue Lockers?
She only speaks to them when she gives back the phones. At the end of the U20 game, when she goes into the locker room, she literally says congrats to all of them, and they're all very happy. She doesn't get to interact with them as much as Ego gets to interact with them, unfortunately.
It's not like a long conversation. It'll be
but
like
she
like that, you know what I'm
But
saying?
she does tear up when they win, so she cares about these boys. She cares about the health of them. She does care, especially during the when you go back to like first to third selection. Anytime they cut away to Henri and Ego, Henri's like, damn, that was amazing. Isn't Nagi amazing? And Ego's just like, man, shut the fuck up. Yeah, so
because also, be honest, how many times are you seeing the shit that they're doing in Blue Lock IRL? Or like from a TV or from a stand?
No,
like,
you don't.
I don't think you're ever gonna see what Nagi did. Like like consistently as just like a normal like power or curve shot. So like when shit like that happens, which is what Blue Lock is, they're creating these incredible plays that most people couldn't do. She's gonna get crazy. She's gonna be like, fuck yeah. Again, not underestimating, just kind of.
Hey man, in early Blue Lock days, all Henri was fan service. You know when like they would do the little
all of her art is fan
the little
service.
chapter spread. It's like all of the art is her.
Yeah.
It's like her in jerseys or her in a swimsuit, and I'm like, what is this, bro?
But now she's backed by her bodyguards. You got Aiku, Sendo, Isagi, and Rain standing behind her as she's just like delivering this speech. She's protected by her 4 bodyguards. Which, by the way, Aiku and Sendo are 100% going to be the ones to be bodyguards there. Rin, Isagi, they'll be decent people, but like Aiku and Sendo acting as like legit bodyguards.
I think if any,
but like Rin and Isagi would just act as good people. Aiku and Sendo I could see acting as like bodyguards because Aiku and Sendo were not only originally on the previous national team, but also they're huge womanizers.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
huge fans of ladies. So
If
like,
if any foreign player tried anything with Henri, the Blue Lockers would fuck them up, bro. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie to you.
oh,
I mean,
IQ and Sendo is
a
Yeah.
Toya
fucking
would
people
shadow
up,
step
bro.
into. He would shadow step
They would
and shove a
fuck them
foot up
up,
their
bro.
ass.
They would
Like,
fuck them up, man. It's not gonna happen. I'm curious to see if we'll get any. And I know this is a series about boys and men and football, but I would be curious, like, cause like Haikyuu has like these women reporter characters. Haikyuu also has the managers who are girls too.
Yeah.
I'm sure these other teams have managers who are females as well, likely.
It won't be
Um,
good for Otoya and
it won't be
uh,
no.
IQ.
But
Otoya would need to lock it seriously bad, bro.
I
Casting
I I don't need any like straight male romance for Isagi. Isagi needs to focus on his fucking aspirations.
It
But I think adding more female characters won't harm the story or anything. I think it'll be
definitely
fine.
won't harm it.
Yeah, it won't harm any story or anything.
I have a
yeah.
question for you guys. Do you
Mhm.
think in season 3 or in the anime future, do you think we're gonna get more politics? Because there is a lot of politics in
Well,
Blue Lock. That's
I mentioned earlier that China and the US are the two countries that were selected for the U20 World Cup, and there's
Now, what
conflict
I
going on
mean
right
though
now.
is like chapter 92, we don't get to see that in the anime. Like a
But
lot of the backstage
they
stuff,
Yeah.
they
we don't
removed
see that in the
they
anime.
removed
So
they
I was really
removed
upset when doing research
they
on.
removed they removed when Luna's like talking shit about Japan
Yeah,
in the
they
anime.
removed Luna. They
He
removed
doesn't yeah,
Loki
he doesn't say
talking. They
that shit.
removed a
They
lot.
remove racism, fan service. They're removing a lot
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the
they
It's
football.
remove most of that.
it's
Yo,
political correctness. In the anime I think anything politically, relevant, I think they're gonna
So
steer away from.
yeah. I got another question. This was something I wanted to ask earlier, but I forgot. Would you guys be like hopeful that we get to see a nice new Gen 11? Like
Yeah.
Lorenzo's
Yes.
nice, right?
yeah.
Lorenzo's nice, but like Sai and Kaiser aren't necessarily like the nicest. I want to see a new Gen 11, unsuspecting, like the Blue Lockers don't know, come up to them and be like, "Yo," and just have an interaction with them. Be cool off the field, just be chill people, and then when they eventually find out that they're a new Gen 11 and that they're playing against each other, like them respect each other. Like fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I love this. Like even after losing, be like, "Yo, good fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome." And they're just like friends. I want a
Yeah.
nice new Gen 11. Is that so hard to ask for?
No. I think one of them will be cool. One of them will be chill. I don't know which country. I don't know which country they'd be from.
We
I
need like
want to
Brazil.
a
maybe
Hinata.
Brazil.
We need like a
Might be
Hinata
Brazil.
bathroom gag.
Yeah, Brazil
where
loves
like he
some-
goes to the bathroom and meets all like the opponents. And
Yeah.
shit. But we need that to be like they meet a new Gen 11
I
and they're
can-
just chill as fuck with each other.
I
Like he did with Kenma. I need
Yeah.
like a Hinata Kenma in
Yeah.
Blue Lock
I can-
relationship.
I can imagine
need
it
one.
might be Brazil. Because Brazilians love football and they want people to be involved in the sport. They think it's super cool. So maybe it could be that the Brazilian team is like, yeah, Blue Lock TV, this shit hard as fuck. We love Blue
fuck
Lock.
with you guys.
Yeah, we like you guys. Yeah, but we're gonna still
So
crush
it'd
you.
be cool
but
if you
we
asked for an autograph. Like
That'd be
yo,
cool.
I watch you on Blue Lock TV. Fucking peak goal. Can I get your autograph?
I would love if the Spanish new gen, if it isn't Psy, if the Spanish new gen's like, oh, Barcha, like, I saw you play for Barcha, the NEL, you're so fucking cool. Like, I like it. I think that'd be dope.
Mhm.
If because like they're repping the clubs are still repping the countries,
Yeah.
So
Do you
They
guys?
need to be a fan of Bachata though.
it
I
would-
wanted to be a fan of Bachata because he went to Spain, was a great dribbler.
yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Shido and Bachata, I need the new Gen 11 to be a fan of them and ask for their autograph specifically.
it would be even funnier if it'd be funny ratio
Mhm.
if the England new gen is from Arsenal and like.
Ooh.
He sees Rayo and he's like, "You fucking chose Manshine City, you bum ass club." I think that'd be-
Bum
that'd
ass,
Yeah.
bum ass
Real
bitch.
for choosing Manshine.
He's like, "Yeah, you should." He's like, Ars
Where's your
gave you
boyfriend Nagi at?
Ars gave you a club
Lost
offer.
your
Like,
mans. Where he at?
honestly, if Augie is on England, because again, yes, the 64 countries have been revealed, but we spoke about this when I was last here. We spoke about Augie's nationality. If Augie's on England, it'd be funny if Augie looks at Rayo like, "Yeah, lol." Like, I think you'd be like, "Oh yeah, where's your friend now?"
Bro? How's
Yep,
life?
told you
Where's
so.
your friend
Yeah.
now?
Oh,
So-
that Argy interaction is gonna be so awkward.
It'd be cool but hey, what if Augie is the one who's doing the link up plays with the new gen from England, or the new gens from England, if the Twin Fury is correct.
Isn't Argy a striker?
He is though, yeah.
Yes,
Alright,
he
but
does
he
center
could probably
forward.
swap. But
Yes,
he
he
probably could
played the
swap
striker role
position.
when even with Nagi and Rayo.
I could see Augie playing as a midfielder though. I
Mm.
could see him.
Yeah,
I
he
could
can play
see him.
as
Yeah,
He was a
he's more of a
playmaker.
false
He was a
nine.
playmaker with
Yeah.
Nagi. He was helping
He could,
spark
yeah,
plays.
they could move Augie back for the England national team. I feel like Augie would make if he is a UK citizen, he could make the England national team. He would be on the U20 team.
You know what I feel like we're in a issue with, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like BLUELOCK is written into a hole, and one of the areas I feel like I disagree with is because it's not evenly spaced. There's not a lot of room for good growth.
Yeah.
For example, the new Gen 11s, we have a striker, a midfielder, and a defender, right? That's
Yeah.
cool. We haven't got our goalkeeper, so that's one option of what we can get.
Yeah.
But after that, we filled up every main position: an attacker, a playmaker, a defender, and a goalkeeper. So now we would start repeating stuff. Sure, wingers, defensive midfielders,
Fullback.
wing
Yeah.
backs, like stuff like that. But they're still defensive positions.
Mm.
And I feel like the issue comes down to, because we focus so much on strikers, we're still like, if they introduce a new Gen 11 striker, it won't feel as interesting to me because we already have Kaiser for reference, right?
Yeah.
If they introduce another midfielder, well, we already have Sai for one, and we just got Charles. If they introduce a new Gen 11 defender, that's cool, but there's still limits on how many defenders we can have. I don't want to see all new Gen 11 defenders because, like, at what point they're gonna get screwed over because BLUELOCK is about goal scoring. So, and goalkeeper, maybe we can have multiple goalkeepers, but again, I feel like goalkeepers are even more limited. What do you have?
think only
You're either
one
really tall
goalkeeper.
or really reflexive. But then I feel like they're written into a corner where no matter who they introduce, they have to introduce it in a very specific and unique way, or else it's just gonna not be very interesting to me. Because of how limited the story has been with limiting on strikers and midfielders, now you're gonna have to crowd your defenders, who are already going to be given poor representation because the strikers are the central focus. The goal scorers are the main target. You know what I mean?
I think it, because the whole thing with BLUELOCK is it's obviously striker orientated, and that's because Japan historically haven't been able to get far in these competitions because they lack that clinical finisher, that that striker that with the attitude to say that I'm gonna take the game by the balls. So I think what the beginning of the U20 World Cup needs to be a culture shock where BLUELOCK realize, shit, maybe we're not that good of strikers because we can't score.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, what did Sai say to Rin when he came back? The world's much bigger than what I thought it was. I think that during this tournament, even Isagi says before at the parade, he's like, this is amazing, but it's also terrifying. I think it's going to like, I'm not saying Isagi's gonna fucking lose or fall.
Someone's gonna choke.
I think they're gonna choke. I think there'll be a moment where like they have the opportunity to score, but then the world's pressure, like they mess up, and maybe in the locker room that could lead to like maybe a heated argument. I could see Barou being like, "You're not cut out for this shit," and then maybe Isagi defends a character like, "No, he is." Like, it's just the world is a lot. The world is a lot harder than we thought it was. What did Loki say in episode Nagi? It's like, he says something to Nagi about feeling despair. You haven't felt despair.
When you
so
learn
Oh no,
fear,
is
it will
that
destroy you.
because you're not scared? That's gonna be fair.
If you don't know it, you can't feel the expressions of it until you know it. Type
until
shit.
you know it, yeah. So I think it's definitely foreshadowing. Isagi saying it's terrifying at the parade. I think that's definitely foreshadowing. Imagine the crowd starts booing.
Because he promised them
Yeah, but they're in
2 times
Japan.
now. I'm gonna bring that
That's the
to
issue. They're in Japan, which I think sucks. Let them go to a different country and face discrimination somewhere else. But now that they're in Japan, they're not going to get hated. They're going to get support.
They can still get hated though, because even
but like the general people there are going to be Japanese. The majority of the people watching will be Japanese.
But it's not just the crowd though. Like they can just choke from the pressure of playing against better players.
The only reason I brought up the crowd is because in Haikyuu, right, when Kurasuno go to their first national game, they realized that like the other team, they have like a whole marching
Here's a-
band.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
loud. They can't do their serves correctly. They literally mess up their serves because they're like under pressure. And I think
fun, bro.
I think anxiety is a real human emotion.
Yeah.
Snuffy's whole philosophy is about like before football, you're a human being.
Yeah, that was coming.
So I think a lot of what Snuffy warned everyone about. Hey, look, we're seeing it with Nagi right now. Bro's in the arcade. He looks like he wants to kill himself. So like, look, I'm just saying. I think it would be a very interesting angle if these characters begin coaching, and maybe we can have uncomfortable conversations in the locker room, and that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's funny
Yeah.
because this place is called the locker room. Yay, look, reference.
That'd be nice. Coaching Inter Milan to the
He
final.
defends Nanase for being mid. Exactly, and maybe
I think Nana say could choke.
Nanase would be the one to choke. To be fair, and then maybe Rin is the one that gives him the hey. Maybe Rin's like, yo, bro, what you doing?
Yeah. Watch me. Look at me. Just look at me.
Wait, I'm not saying that the players themselves can't be hated, but it's like it's not going to be to the same degree as like if they were at a completely different.
They're a foreign country. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have wanted them to go somewhere completely different. Like I would have said
Could've gone to
They-
they
Spain.
could be hosted in the U.S. and then have
Ooh.
them go completely across
Same.
the world.
Same.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
to a whole lot of
We
races.
never until now. I don't think the USA was mentioned a single time in the manga except for like right now where we see the flags.
Maybe he's just throwing the U.S. in because next year the World Cups are going to be held by the U.S. next year as well. Maybe it could just be
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like
America.
in a matter of like
Mhm.
the discrimination that could be faced in a different country because like when you're still in your home country you still have a level of familiarity. When you're a completely different country, the level of anxiety you would experience despite it being an insane situation in your home country is drastically more intense because you're in a completely different space, a 100% completely different space. Like sure, the World Cup, but you're still in Japan. You're still relatively home. If you're across the fucking world, it's way more pressure. Like
Yeah.
there's still a big difference. Sure, you could face discrimination there, but it's not going to be on the same degree that a lot of people were hoping for them to have to push through and overcome because they're in their home country. That's the issue that arises.
Yeah, but what I want to see is something similar to what Hiyori experienced when he subbed in against Ubers, where he was like, "Shit,
Doubting himself?
this the levels." Like he was overwhelmed by the level of football they were playing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see something similar to that where the Blue Lockers get a reality check and be like, so these are the levels, of
Yeah. The NEL, they were showing levels in the NEL, but it wasn't like
Yeah, NEL's just club
like
level. It's
yeah,
not
like club
the
level.
best
This is
selected
the
players.
world.
Yeah,
And I think hey, maybe even we've seen that ego. We've seen ego even be like, damn, this shit crazy. So
Mhm.
it could be cool. It would be. You know what else would be nice? I would love to see. I know the Masters won't play an important role until the actual World Cup because they're all seniors. But it'd be cool to like see them watch the games. Maybe Noah's watching the game. He's like, oh damn, this shit crazy. I know Chris Prince is definitely watching. Or like
He's gonna be there in Japan, bro.
he
For the
might be
ass,
there.
bro.
No, I
He's
mean
gonna be there for the ass.
he might be there to like support England. He might just be like England's gonna win this shit. We up, you know.
yeah. It should be
They're gonna
summertime
make a
anyways
bet
for.
with Lavino
If,
about
if,
dinner,
if
bro.
him and it'd be cool if like him and Adam Blake are there to watch the new gen of England.
Blake is not there for sure, bro.
Blake
He's
is there
out
for women.
bro.
Blake
He's
is there
with
for
the
Japanese
gal.
women. He's there for
Blake-
Japanese
He's
women.
there for the bitches.
Yeah,
The-
he'll
Yeah,
be
I
out with
know.
some women.
Wait, Errol, I have a question for you, a serious one.
So-
You talked about how Germany's gonna win the U20 World Cup, and they just talked about Ego getting fired if he fails. How do you think they're gonna go about replacing? Like, what do you think with that?
How do you think they're gonna go out doing what?
Replacing Ego, because if Ego doesn't win the U20 World Cup, they get
That boy is
get-
not getting
Oh,
fired.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll actually fire Ego. I think they will fire him, but then the amount of backlash that everyone would give the JFU because
Oh.
Ego brought them the farthest they've ever been ever.
I think they win it though.
I don't. I think they lose to
Nah, it'll
Kaiser.
be
They lose-
bullshit
they lose
if
to
they
I don't
Germany.
think they lose.
I think they lose to. I think they
lose
beat
to
France in semis. They lose to Germany in the finals. It leads to Sai and Kaiser in the Champions League arc. Gives Sai a reason to come
They-
back, and then they win the final World Cup against the best striker in the world. Because they
I
already
think-
beat Loki. They beat the antagonist. Like, Loki's the next antagonist. You beat Loki in the semifinals, and then you face Kaiser, who is just another version of Isagi in the finals. They lose, keeps Kaiser relevant for the next arc, but also it brings reason for them to continue to evolve going into the World Cup, the big final World Cup. Because like
Yeah.
if you have them win the U20 World Cup and then go into like the issue with the final World Cup, you just skip from the U20 to the main one. There need to be something in between. Give them a reason to develop in between the big final World Cup, which would be the Champions League. Like, you know what I mean?
I understand that, but the chapter today, well, whenever it came out, but the chapter just gave me the vibe that they're gonna end up winning it.
Yeah, because I just don't see Ego leaving, like, no matter what.
It's not even the league, the Ego leaving thing. It's just that's Ego specifically said he's here to win it.
My counter argument is narratively, if they win the U20 World Cup, I'm not even talking from like a because we know the players are gonna evolve. We know that they'll get to where they need to get to. I think narratively, if they win this shit, right, and then they go on to win the World Cup, I'm not gonna feel anything. If that makes sense, it's just like if it's like 2 back-to-back wins, and let's just say even like, imagine, right, they win this shit, Boston wins the Champions League. Isagi, like, he because Isagi's gonna probably join Boston, wins the Champions League, and then they win the World Cup against Noah, and Isagi is the best player in the world. I'm just like, what the fuck? From a story perspective, it's like it doesn't.
They just keep on winning.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Like NEL, it's like Isagi goes on. Boston won all of the games in NEL. Then BLUELOCK proceeds to win the U20 thanks to Isagi's help. Then they win. I think narratively, if they lose here, what we discussed today about how the world showed them levels, like it's not what they thought it was. They were a bit too, it would also help develop.
They were a bit too egotistical.
Yeah, it could be that like they believed, they thought the ego got to their heads. They were high. Their brains were boiling, but they lost. And I think that loss would affect them as well. Like I feel like
this whole system didn't work out for us. Energy.
I feel like Isagi would come back in the actual World Cup on Demon Time because he's a different player. He's experienced. He like how Kaiser reset to 0.
Yeah.
I feel like Isagi would have to go through something similar during his years as a professional, eventually gaining Japan's trust, being selected to represent Japan in the actual World Cup, and leading the World Cup to beating France, beating Noah, who I think Noah will be the final obstacle of the series. So
I got a question for you then. Like, where do you rank, where would you think Japan is as a whole compared to the world?
Right now,
like bottom 10%? Yeah, like right now.
We don't know. We don't know the world. When we find out now, look, people try to use the NEL as a reflection of what the world has to offer. No. The NEL is just U20 players from clubs around the world. They do not reflect the world. The world is much bigger than what we think it is in BLUELOCK. When we finally see what the world has to offer, I'd say Japan is that because like the way Japan is spoken about, football, like thanks to BLUELOCK TV and like the NEL and the success of everything, we're rising up. We're getting up there. But even Loki said, I don't think in a million fucking years you guys are gonna win. He literally says that in the NEL. He's like, I don't think you guys are gonna win shit.
Yeah.
So
but I think we can do something. It's gonna sound weird. I think we can do a little bit of math for this. So Baston Munchen is the strongest U20 club in Germany.
Yes.
Like their club, they're the strongest in Germany.
Offensively.
So, and we can assume that going there, the Blue Lockers, relatively based off of Noah's criteria, took over their roles because they were better than the Bastard players. So currently, you can argue that potentially Japan's BLUELOCK is better than the majority, if not all, of Germany's clubs. I don't know how you could argue for the national team, but you could probably make a case for them being better than Germany's clubs, with a lot of their players taking over Baston Munchen because they were superior. With Baston Munchen being superior to every other club in Germany.
But like the fact, because we didn't get to see like Berserk Dortmund or the other fucking clubs, so we
Yeah,
don't know.
other,
We don't know.
Bayern München is stated to be the
Be best. They
strongest
are,
club
yeah.
in Germany.
Yeah.
So in Germany, they are the strongest. So Berserk Dortmund is their rival, sure, but Bayern München is still the superior of the two.
I like the way I see it is kind of like in real life, right? I'm gonna use IRL example. In real life, Real Madrid is considered one of the best clubs in the world. Everyone wants to go to Real Madrid. It's one of the best clubs. However, Barcelona gives them belt to us like every single championship.
I know, but you're
Every
we're
club has
talking
to
in
go this
universe.
year, bro.
Yeah,
In universe,
in
if it's
universe,
stated this
yeah.
club is the strongest and these
Mhm.
players are taking over the club because they are superior to the players on the pitch relative to their individual talents, it's speculated, and you can make a speculation and a good hypothesis that Japan's
but that's
Blue Lock team is currently superior to the clubs at Germany.
but-
I don't know how that translates to the U20 team or the national team, but in reference to the clubs, you can make a speculation based off of the evidence we have in relation to the clubs and Blue Lock. I can pose another question.
But for sure, that tracks logically. But the only issue now is if we take say the majority of Boston Munchen players make up the majority of the German U20 team.
Yeah.
Then Blue Lock already has their numbers. So how are they gonna lose to them?
Kaiser awakens.
A Kaiser and
Yes.
awakened chemical
Yeah.
reaction.
I don't think
Kaiser was already superior to the majority of the players in Blue Lock. Arguably, the only players who are better than him, maybe isagi and Rain. Aside from them, he still gaps by himself is better than them on a team.
You still have to consider Blue Lock will come together, not just Boston Munchen, but Blue Lock will come together to form their Blue Lock team. So I don't know.
I know, but again, I'm just going off of estimates here.
Yeah, I just don't see. I can't see Germany.
But also, again, Berserk Dortmund may not be a stronger overall club than Bayern München, but they may have their ace of that team is stronger than the majority of players. And because the national team isn't just Bayern München, they're pulling up players, right?
Yeah.
Like you can make the estimate that if they're strong, you can make the estimate that Blue Lock is currently stronger than that team than Bayern München's team, right? But that's why I said it doesn't. I don't know if it translates fully because the ace of Berserk Dortmund or another club might be called up along with Kaiser and Ness to the German national team, which would then create a stronger team. I'm just saying, currently, like club level, Blue Lock, if you want to consider Blue Lock even a club, like relative to them, I would say they're superior to a lot of clubs. I would say they're better than Barcha. Like Barcha's U20 team that came to the NEL, I would say 11 players on Blue Lock created a formation are superior to them. I would say the same thing for Manshine City. Maybe even Ubers.
But
maybe even
again,
Ubers.
In England, there's a diversity of strong teams, right? In Spain, there's a diversity of strong teams.
No, I know. That's why I'm not making the case for them. I'm just saying better than these.
In the Blue Lock
teams.
In the Blue Lock verse, I think what Ira was trying to say in like the Blue Lock verse, the Blue Lockers currently gap
Standard club players, basic club players.
Gap the basic under 20 players of Boston, which I think is fair. Given what the NEL has told us, I'm not gonna lie. From a writing perspective, it's like what the fuck we doing, but that's how Konashiro wants to frame it. That's how he wants to frame it. I think I do think though that the rest of the world will show Blue Lock levels. I think this is where Blue Lock will get their belt to us, bro. They're gonna win their games. I'm not gonna lose everything.
Also, the NEL was based on clubs that wanted to come. Kaiser and Noah had reason to show up to the NEL. Noah wanted to evolve Kaiser, but he probably went because it's run by Ego, his former rival. Kaiser wanted to face off against isagi. So they had left. So those two players, the ace on the U20 team and the ace of the like adult full-on club want to do this, they're going to go. But Ego probably sent out offers to numerous other clubs like Real, and they just probably said no.
I think
so. They probably just accepted the clubs that were given the offer and wanted to.
I think Real might have said no because in real life, Real is very arrogant as a club. I don't know if you guys know this,
But they didn't even want to play the Copa del final,
They
bro.
didn't even want. They
Like,
didn't even want to final yet.
PXG had reason to come. PXG is one of the richest clubs in the world, but they had an incentive to come to the NEL. Loki, their star player, wanted to evolve Charles, to then evolve himself, to then be superior to the best striker in the world, which would bring them in a lot of money. They had incentive. Munchen had incentive. The other clubs, as far as we know, did not have any incentive. They were just interested and wanted to come.
Yeah.
Other clubs were probably sent offers and rejected it. So they took who said yes and made the NEL. So I can only make the claim that they're better than Germany average clubs because Germany was regarded as the strongest club, and we see relatively their player level. That's the case I make.
Do the clubs send all their U20? I think it was only a handful. It wasn't all of them.
No, so it is their starting. It's the starting lineup for their under 20 team. That's who they bring. They bring their starting lineup. It was stated in chapter 155.
Like injured and shit, you know.
Yeah. Ego says, first you'll undergo training with the masters. You'll be mixed into the teams with the players I've invited through which you'll prove your worth, and you'll need to be selected as one of the starting members. There was a specific thing I saw, like, in relation to. Igaguri says all those superstars are here in BLUELOCK, and Ego says yes. Within each country's wing are the members of the U2011 and the master strikers themselves. So the U20 members, the U2011 members for their starting lineup of the respective clubs showed up.
The only reason we don't see all of them, to clarify to chat, I just want to let you guys know, the only reason we don't see all of them is because I'm not gonna lie, it would take Kaneshiro like 50 years to design unique designs for each character. He already has to balance all the BLUELOCKers too. So having the BLUELOCKers take over the clubs, Kaneshiro is like, oh yeah, I don't have to draw all of these guys, or I don't have to come up with unique designs for all of these guys. That's why we don't see every single person. Now we see their silhouette. You know, when like they're all walking in, we see a silhouette. There's like 11 people. There's like about 11 people.
Of what?
Behind, you know, in like the Master Striker shop, we don't see like the silhouette of Grimm, and we see the silhouette of Birkenstock. Yeah, we don't see everyone, but like
we see Ness and we see Kaiser clearly.
Yeah,
because they're important.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we've seen the design for every Bastard player for the U20.
Yeah, Bastard we see, but Manshine we only see a few of them, and then Barcha we don't see all of them. We only see a few of them. There's this one guy on Barcha that we see a lot. He has a beard. He's always hugging up Barcha.
Yeah, Lara.
Lara. Yeah, I think he's gonna actually be on the Spanish U20 team, bro. I actually think he's gonna be the, because I feel like we've seen that guy. Oh, the Connoisseur loves drawing that dude. I think he's gonna be the. We'll have to wait and see. You have to understand that this man has to make fake clubs, avoid copyright, use fake names, make fake players who are based on real players. Like, it's a lot. I can imagine that it gets tiring. So that's probably why we don't see all 11.
I'm actually dipping here because I gotta get a video that I have halfway done. I have to have that done for tomorrow, and I also have to be up at 7 in the morning. So I am gonna hop on here because I gotta.
No worries, bro.
Appreciate you. Good night, I'll see you guys.
No worries.
See you.
Guys, I wanted to get into a bit of the Nagi stuff.
Okay.
With Barcha demanding Ego to bring Nagi back. And obviously Ego standing his ground, but I think it's a weird one because obviously the way he's going hard at it, and you know how sneaky the guy is. There's a chance he might try to do something underhanded when it comes to Nagi. And with the fact that we also see Nagi at the end of the chapter, it's left too wide open. Do you guys think there's actually a chance that Nagi comes back for the World Cup?
I 100% believe that he will return, but I don't know if he will return for the U20 World Cup. Now, a lot of people, I think, when it comes to conversations around Nagi, I keep hearing the words cope, you're coping. He's not fucking coming back. I want you to know, Ratio and OP, I want you to know, this is the third time Kaneshiro has lingered on Nagi ever since he's been kicked out. We've seen him return home. We've seen his reaction to after, like we've seen his reaction to like the posters and everything. We've seen now we've seen him in the arcade, and while he's playing the game, it says continue. It literally says continue. I 100% like there is just no conceivable. And also we have Barasuda in this chapter saying you need to bring Nagi back. Why the fuck isn't Nagi coming back? Ego literally says, "Nah, bro. If Nagi come back, I quit." Why would they keep? And also, Kaneshiro said recently in an interview that Nagi is the secondary protagonist. I don't know if you guys saw that. He
Yeah.
literally said recently
Yeah.
that Nagi is the secondary protagonist. There is no way in hell it's over for him. Why would he focus on him for this much? Why? Explain. No, Kira didn't get this treatment. Narhaya never got this treatment. None of the characters who got kicked got this treatment. Neputera didn't get this treatment. Nobody did. No one. And you could argue that, oh, well, we knew Nagi the longest. But, like, hey, who cares? This is a story about being the world's best egoist. It's not about, like, sympathy points. Kaneshiro clearly wants us to feel something with Nagi's leaving. He's coming back, bro. There's just no. I don't see a situation where he doesn't come back. Not maybe not for the U20. It doesn't say continue. It says continue question mark.
Hmm.
Yes, I mean like I still think like point still stands. It still means like he could potentially. He has a professional offer. That was another thing. Um, during during the chapter when he's talking to his classmates, guess what his classmates keep talking about like over and over again. Oh, don't you have professional offers? Wait, I
Yeah.
saw you
You
have
gonna
professional
take your
offers.
offers?
You're gonna
Yeah.
take your offer? Like he even like there's just Isagi as he leaves in the NEL. Isagi screams to him, "Don't quit soccer." And then we see the fire in his eyes too. There is just no way that this isn't foreshadowing that it isn't over.
Hmm.
Now how he returns is a big question mark because A, he could just take his offer, go and play overseas, right? And then maybe we'll see him again in the Champions League if we get a Champions League. If we get Champions League, big
Yeah.
if.
So my whole thing is right.
Yeah,
I I'm not too keen on Nagi's return, anyways.
yeah,
But if he was to return, I'd rather see him return
yeah,
when by when it's time for us to play
yeah,
the actual World Cup.
yeah.
Not any time sooner than that. He can be doing his thing in the background. That's all good. But Baratsuta literally is demanding that he returns to Blue Lock. He returns him to Blue Lock, right? And I'm not a fan of that. And I don't know why Kaneshiro would put that in if there wasn't gonna be something involving that through through the throughout this World Cup time. Um, but li- I'm not a fan anyways of Nagi's return. I think it's a nice it's a
Yeah.
nice reminder to people that listen, there's high stakes in this. You could be one of the craziest ballers, but you can easily just get eliminated as well.
I
Um, and
I
that's
have
what
to
happened to OP.
have to
What do you think?
bounce, but
Yeah.
OP, what do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, I was
wait,
gonna
wait,
say,
one sec, OP. What
yeah,
you saying?
Oh no, sorry, I said I have to bounce right now, but I'm gonna listen to what OP says before I go.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for me, like, I was always on the train that like Nagi, like the second I saw him get eliminated, I thought he was done from the series. Never seen him again. But
Hmm.
like setting up the biggest thing for me is the continue thing because whenever Nagi plays his video games, it's always ends on death. But now all of a sudden it's ending on continue. So it's basically like Chekhov's gun. So it's gonna happen eventually now. And I don't want it to happen either, but Nagi's 100% coming back now.
Yeah, but do you think he's coming back for the World Cup in Blue Lock?
Not the U20 World Cup, but maybe the adult like Japan World Cup, like the full
Yeah,
one. Maybe, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, that's me as well. I think around the same thing as well. I just don't want to see him in the U20 World Cup. I think it's too soon.
Yeah, I don't want to see him for the next 100 chapters.
Yeah, literally. I think it's way too soon. But the way Baratsita has been going on, we never know right now. We actually never know because you know what he's like. Like he's the he can be sneaky. He can put conditions on Ego. Obviously, Ego said he'd rather quit, which is great. I love that. But what if Baratsuta speaks to his boy Ray Dark and they set up something else? And
See,
it's a madness because Ray Dark is head of PIFA, right? And
yeah,
PIFA are the ones that are hosting the World Cup. What they're the ones in charge of the World Cup. So he can put whatever conditions it is, could blackmail Ego in whatever way to make sure Nagi comes in. And Ray Dark is also similar to Baratsuta. He's in it for the money.
yeah, and Kit Kate mentioned, Baratsuda always gets referred to as a tanuki, which is like trickery, money, all that type of stuff. And another thing, like earlier, yeah, the comment you bring it up right now, where it talks about the patron of dreams, patrons are usually gods, and we know the two ones in the BLUELOCK series
Hmm.
are Baratsuda or Ego.
Yeah.
So if it's like you either choose Ego or you choose Baratsuda, I can see Nagi like trying to get a second chance, not going through Ego this time, but goes through Baratsuda, tries to come back that way somehow.
Hmm. Yeah. It's a weird one. What if they set up like a new trial for Nagi and then somehow sneak him in? But the
Oh.
thing is though, if for Nagi to come in, someone has to leave.
See,
Nagi,
see, that's why it can't be for like a U20 World Cup. That's why it can't be because like you did the whole process to get 23 players. It
hmm
can't be for the U20 World Cup because that would eliminate all of their efforts.
yeah, exactly. I s- yeah, I, ju- I just I don't see why we're still on Nagi, why we're still following Nagi if he's not gonna be relevant anytime soon. So the all the signs point to him being relevant. But honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. It's not that's not for me. That's not for me. Vincenzo says my problem is that if he returns to Blue Lock and Japan, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, literally. It's it's just not right.
Yeah, it's because the problem is like in what capacity would he be playing that's relevant to anything? Like if
Hmm.
he does come back and he's playing for like one of the Japan clubs or a club around the world, how is that relevant to any of the goals in Blue Lock, which is about becoming the best in the world? If you just stay at club level, you're not important. Like
Mm.
that's like the obvious thing that they're pushing. Like we got clubs, but now we're getting the actual U20 world arc. It's putting the world above clubs.
Yeah, yeah. And Kit Kate says the number three was next to it. So do you think that might be foreshadowing for which chapter he comes back? Um.
Yeah,
Oh, plus he's literally a Tanuki, um, which I think is known for trickery in Japanese folklore. Yeah. So and his chain
Mhm.
had the Nagi, like a Nagi face on it.
Yeah, it's just straight up his face and his design.
Yeah.
Going back to the number three thing, like on the last page of the chapter, it's 47 days until the U20 World Cup. With the three in there, if
Hmm.
Nagi returns in chapter 473, that would be crazy for him.
Mad, yeah. 473. That yo. Might have to mark
I
that
mean,
down. Might have to mark that down just in case.
maybe.
Yeah, that's big brain. That's big brain. Um, so Dedu says, I don't want him back this soon, or even for a while. Rayo's character development will be screwed. Yes,
Oh,
but so in fact, what do you think Rayo's gonna be like? Now that Nagi's gone, this will be literally the first time he's playing without Nagi. He's never played football without Nagi. What do you think Rayo's gonna be like? Do you think he snaps out of it straight away? Like, do you think he goes ham straight away, or do you think he's going to be a little bit clouded in his judgment and the way he plays is going to be a little bit off? Do you think it's going to affect him at all?
I think this might be like bias or hot take. I think Rayo right now is going to be top 5 player in all of Blue Lock.
Mm.
Like I heavily think that Rayo's potential, everything that Rayo has done, has been like nerfed. Like he's pre Bachira, like pre third selection Bachira type nerfed. So now that Nagi's gone, Rayo knows he can score on his own. I genuinely think he's top 5 player.
Okay, I can definitely see him becoming top five player. Um, but do you think that happens in this World Cup?
I think he shakes, yeah, 100%. I think he shakes off like the whole, oh, I miss my best friend in like the first half of the game, or even like less than that. Like I think he shakes it off in practice, and comes on the field egotistical in a good way, and he has his metavision, and like because he's like metavision Rayo was one of the best showings of metavision we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the second he got it, he outread Isagi twice. He got to the ball before Noah. Like metavision Rayo was a different breed.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I see. I like Rayo because of that side of him. The metavision side of him, and him being able to do the chameleon stuff, right? But
Yeah.
my personally, I actually think that, and we saw it on the way to the parade, right? How quiet he was, how downcast he was. I think that it's gonna affect his play to begin with. I don't think he gets up to speed straight away. I don't think he starts straight away, but I think he's gonna mess up a few times. Um, at least, at least I hope he does, just to show that it does affect him. He is being affected, but I think at some point he's gonna get that moment where he has to lock in, and he does, and comes in clutch. I do think Rayo's going to be a big focus in this World Cup, because remember his dad said if you're going to play footy, at least be good enough to represent the country.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Rayo's going to have a big part to play in this U20 World Cup. But what I want to see is a progression in his character where he starts off shaky, starts off iffy, because he's not in the right state, and then progress into later on locking in and then showing that he is a top player. Do you think he ends up as a striker, or do you think he's just going to be straight out midfielder?
I think he ends up, the when Isagi was playing in Manshine, and then after the Manshine game was over, he got the interview with the one guy, and that one club was talking about playing Isagi as like a cam that can
Hmm.
specialize in offense and defense and can score goals.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be Rayo's actual position when he
Okay.
like his perfect position.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be sick. Um, that'll be sick. I'd love that, to be honest. But I do think he ends up a midfielder. I think he ends
Hmm.
up a midfielder. Obviously, the only reason is similar to Ness. The only reason he was playing midfield in the first place was because of Nagi.
Yeah.
Um, that was the only reason. But he's never really stated that he wanted to win the World Cup as a striker, and he's never really stated that he wanted to be a striker in the first place.
Hmm.
Rayo, just his dream is to win the World Cup. That's just flat out his dream. It's not to be the striker in the World Cup. It's to win the World Cup. So I think he's gonna end up being a midfielder. Similar to how he always settled that he's gonna be a provider, rather than a goal scorer. Uh, so
Yeah.
I know if he locks in, Rayo's gonna be a top player, man. Disgusting. Like his
Honestly.
weapons already are disgusting. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's I'm hoping there's a character progression.
Yeah, speaking of his copy, now that Rayo has seen the world, because remember his original like striker mode copy was made up of Sai and Rin, because that's what he believed was
Mm.
the best player. But now that he's seen some of the world, do you think that's going to change? Like, what is his copy going to be now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I won't be surprised if he copies someone in game. Um,
Mm.
especially like say it's like a midfielder, like a super sig midfielder maybe has some kind of really good, I don't know, really good dribbling technique or passing technique. I can definitely see Rayo copying that. Say there's an attacking midfielder who's able to do similar things to Charles and give like perfect balls. Uh,
Ooh.
Rayo can play that because I think Fiori's more of a long pass specialist.
Yeah.
So I can see Rayo filling in as the a 10 that is more geared to assists. Short like in like a shorter range. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think even right now, Rayo's short passing is better than Hiyori's. Like, definitely.
yeah. I think so. I think so. But yeah, Rayo's a player that I think he's got a lot of potential progression. Uh, he's got a lot of potential progression because now you got to think about who's he gonna supply now.
Mm.
Because what I can see is Rayo trying to solo everything to begin with. I'm not gonna pass. I'm gonna be the striker. I'm gonna show the world that I'm this, that I'm that, and try and solo everything and just get knocked down. To the point where he thinks, no, I've got to start actually playing football. The even though this is Blue Lock, I've got to actually start playing football and lock in because we're trying to win this, and then see him gradually progress to still having an ego where he will shoot, but playing much more link up play
Mm-hmm.
because that his skill sets are perfect for that. He was able to get team V. Was it team V they play for? Yeah, team V.
Yeah.
He was able to get team V together by the end of the first match. So he was the one that orchestrated team V's like dominance in that strategy. So I can see him being a really good link up player. I'd really like to see how he interacts with Isagi going forward. Because I feel like he's got some animosity towards Isagi. I don't know why he gives me that vibes.
I mean, maybe. What do you think about Rayo in like you put him in the middle of the field, but you give him complete free roam. Like he's
Mhm.
not stuck to any side of the pitch. Since he's the
Yeah,
all-rounder player, he should be able to go everywhere.
yeah, for sure. I think that should be his role. His role should be like a libero. He can play any position,
Yes.
anywhere. I think that should be his role for sure. And Dedu did say Rayo will have a final mental block to overcome. I think it may be a progressive thing that breaks over time until he comes to full acceptance of this and has an awakening that makes him a top tier. Yeah, exactly. Like that's my thoughts exactly. Um, and I really hope we get to see that. But yeah, this Nagi thing is throwing a wrench, a spanner in the works. So I really don't know what we're doing with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but like a Rayo return to zero moment, I would live for. I need
Mm,
that.
yeah, for sure, and him as well. He's got. We've got to remember that Rayo is really new to football, anyways. So he's got so much room to grow, especially when he gets his gets more experience playing. We're gonna see that translate in his meta vision, just how good he is. Um, and especially once he actually learns about meta vision and how to use it and stuff like that.
Yeah, something that's like scary to think of is like recently with Rayo, we had his. So wait, let me lean back up. So talented learners, the whole reason they can compete with geniuses is adapting to the genius and raising their standard of play.
Yeah.
That's what Isagi did with Ness when he found the fastest piece. He adapted to Ness's genius thing and scored.
Hmm.
Now, thinking of Rayo doing this, because how Rayo adapts is he copies you. We see this like with Atoya. He copied Atoya's move the exact same game when he saw it.
Yep.
So thinking of Rayo gaining the fastest piece to copy your move, like either like in the middle of while you're doing it or something like that, would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And but that's the thing. And if Isagi ever needed someone to who has similar traits to him to back him up, then he'll have Hiyori, he'll have Rayo available to him. Do you know like
Hmm.
do you know like how Isagi and Kaiser were able to play together and they were able to dominate? Rayo can play that Kaiser role.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I remember even back in Ubers when Hiyori first subbed on, he was telling Noah like, yeah, it would be like having two Asagis out there. So
Yeah,
doing that with Rayo now would be insane.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's I'm actually really looking forward to this World Cup to start. I need Blue Lock to lose a game and realize like the stakes early on. I need them to realize the stakes early on, and I need there to be better defending than what we've seen so far in the story. Because so far in the story, the defending has all come from attackers, and I'm not that keen on
Yeah.
that. Like Isagi tracking back, and you got Iori tracking back, and Kai
Ren.
back in Barrow. Even Barrow, he was defending a couple of times in that Ubers match, and it's not it's not the greatest. So
Yeah.
I really want to see some good defensive play. I want to see some good tactics and coordination that will bamboozle Blue Lock. And similar to U20 match, they have to find a way to lock in and win it with their own tactics.
Yeah, for sure. I think like when we had the U20 arc, the strikers like rarely backtrack. The only time you really saw them were defending was like for corners or something like that. And I
Mm,
think that was because the defenders we had at the time were like actually named people. We had Aryu, we have Nico, we had Karasu, people we know. I
yeah.
think that in the NEL, there's like random defenders that we have no idea their names. So if you want a prominence on any relevant character, you have to make the strikers or the midfielders backtrack. So
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Personally, what I just don't want to see is the opposition team's striker doing a last ditch tackle on Isagi, bro. Like, what's that about? Leave that to the defenders. Leave that to the
exactly.
builders. I don't want to see the striker doing that stuff. Um, but yeah, also you with the mention of corners, one thing I really want to see is either a penalty, not a penalty shootout, but a penalty given, or a free kick routine. I would love to see that.
Yeah, 100%. I need like Rin like I don't know like 30 meters out, hit
Mm,
the most beautiful free kick to top corner.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I think that I definitely think that Rin could be one of the first players in Blue Lock to score, if not the first player to score for Blue Lock. Because I think he's going to be the first one to establish that he is on that level. Like I said before, but Kick Cake says here, I actually had a thought. How many weapons can one player have in their arsenal before they're considered overpowered? And my answer to that is I don't think there can be a limit to how many weapons a player can have because you weapons are situational. So like when you need to attack, you have a certain weapon to attack. When you need to defend, you have a certain weapon to defend. And there will be characters that have so many weapons, and rightly so. They should have as many weapons as they can. And I think with every weapon, there's a way to counter it regardless. And because football is a 11-a-side game, so it's a sport played with 11 players on each side. One player, even if they have overpowered, huge amount of weapons, there's still one player is gonna struggle to take on a whole 11 on his own, especially an 11 of the best players in the country.
Yeah, no, I full agree. Like I would say the quote unquote strongest, or like I would say the most broken weapons in the Blue Lock series are the eyes. Like I
Yeah.
think Metavision and Predator Eye are like the most broken weapons. But then you take a look at Kaiser, who has both. He
Hmm.
can't use them at the same time. They're so situational, and he still has faults. He still messes up sometimes.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And exhaustion will play a part. Physicality will play a part. All that stuff. IQ. It all plays a part. So I think even if we see a player that has all the weapons in the world, it still won't translate to them being that overpowered, because for them to be that overpowered, they'd literally have to run through the whole Blue Lock 11 solo and just score goals like it's nothing. And I can't see that happening. But I
Yeah.
can see Blue Lock being like, 3-0 down, 4-0 down. I can see that. I can see that.
Oh, for sure. And I wanted to talk about one of the comments that Dedu left
Yeah.
about Rayo possibly being a genius.
Okay.
And I remember that saying, like, because Shido said like his copy, like when he copied like Shido's Dragon Drive, it was like that's like Rayo's like unique talent or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't think that makes Rayo a genius,
Okay.
because I compare it to like another talented learner that we know is Karasu, and
Yes.
Karasu has a unique trait to him. In those moments where you're supposed to get like hyped up from like the match or feel the heat or anything, or like get excited, that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't happen to Karasu. He does the opposite. He gets cooled down. He gets
Oh
what's the
yeah.
word? Cool
Yeah.
headed and
Yeah.
focused. He doesn't get hyped up. He can't get hyped up. And I don't think that's I think that's more genetic than anything else, but he's still a talented learner.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That is very true. And you can also put Isagi's adaptability in there. Um,
Yup.
like the way he's able to adapt with whatever information, whatever's thrown at him. Like that could easily be a genius trait, but he's a talented learner. So it's a weird one, because who else can copy the same way Rayo does? Nobody really, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is a genius trait. Because if you also think about Isagi, he managed to recreate in his own way Nagi's in shot, and to create the 2-stage volley. Sorry, the 2-gun volley.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always like levels to it. Cause what truly makes you a genius is if you play to yourself. Cause like he ties like Isagi ties self type to genius. So
Hmm.
if your plays are revolving around yourself, your own imagination, things that don't matter to the world and isn't like, because Kaiser Impact, for example, his shot swing is like it seems to be genetic,
Hmm.
but the shot was created from the perspective of the world. What would the world see as valuable? What would the world see as important?
Hmm.
Kaiser's like, boom, fastest shot speed in the world. That would be important. And he created the Kaiser Impact from it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Noah said, it's even faster than his shot. But we saw Kaiser practicing that stuff. You know, we saw him practicing it, and as much as it might seem like a genius thing, it's still part of his. It's still something he had to work on, in order to get to the level that it's at right now. And Kit Kate said, so no matter what weapon they have, even if they have a lot of them, there can usually be a drawback. And yeah, that's exactly it. So no matter what weapon it is, there'll be a condition to it. There'll be a drawback to it. There'll be something that's taxing from it. Um, like Rayo's copying ability, he can copy, but to 99%. And when he copied Rin's Travella shot, Gagamaru said it was a cheap imitation. So even that 1% that's missing can be a big difference.
Yeah, and the thing is like the players like who have the original weapons, they can push it beyond 100%.
Yes.
Like Rin and Flow Destroyer is like 120% at least.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Sendo scoring a hat trick.
Yeah, I drop the series if that happens.
Oh, yeah. I need. Do you know who would you like to really see score a goal? I know someone asked it earlier. I don't know if you answered.
I didn't. There's like two people who I really want to score goals.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is reasonable, but the other one is like it's never happening.
Who?
The first one is Rayo.
Okay. Yeah.
Cause like Rayo, like he has like shooting abilities, he can score. But the second one is Nico.
Okay.
Cause
Oh,
remember, of course like he used to like play striker. He scored a hat trick against Barrow's team. Like I think it could happen.
I forgot about Nico. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would actually be sick. Yeah, it would actually. Oh man, do you know the levels of celebrations that would be had if Nico scored a goal?
Dude, I
Uh,
would be through the
those
streets.
those celebration panels would go hard. No, yeah, for sure. I really want to see Raito score a goal or even just shoot.
Ooh.
Or even just shoot. Like he's so sexy football. I need to see it. I need to
Oh,
see
the
what.
sexy shot.
Yeah, I need to see what that is because you can't by the name you can't really infer anything. So I need to see what that is. But
That's
yeah,
true.
I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him score a goal. But yeah, that would be my pick.
Yeah. Speaking of that, like I still think we're gonna get like the complete like metavision chemical reaction of like Aiku picking up the ball, passing it to like Nico, who brings it to Karasu, who brings it to Rayo, who passes to Hiyori, who does a long pass to like Isagi, like a full metavision x metavision chemical reaction.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be sick. Dedu says kinesthetic adaptability is not the same as environmental adaptability. So comparing Rayo and Isagi via adaptability is flimsy. Dedu, I'm not smart like that, so I'm
No,
not.
I had to Google that word just
Yeah,
now.
I, I'm. I'm sure you're right because you know things. I know you know these things. So, but I'm not smart like that. So I'm
Yeah.
to take your word for it.
It seems to be like body adaptability, like how like what your body actually
Okay.
does, like moving your limbs and stuff, versus like your strategies and your mental
Right.
adaptability.
Right.
So
Okay.
I think that's what it's supposed to represent with like Rayo's like more physical side and Isagi's more like his strategies, his thinking plan and stuff like that.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And Anik Sophie says, "What do you guys think um Ego starting lineup will be for Japan U20?" What?
Oh, hmm. I think it's gonna be 4-4-2 with Ren and Isagi up top.
Mhm.
As left attacking midfielder, it would be Rayo. Right attacking midfielder would be Hiyori,
Mhm.
and then left wing is Chiguri. Right wing Bachira. Then left wing back would be actually no. It's instead of a 4-4-2, it's gonna be two up top.
Okay.
How do I do this? Two up top, four four after that,
Mhm.
then one, then three.
One free. Okay, if you're doing three at back, three
Yeah.
three at the back. Yeah.
So the three center backs would be Nico. Aiku and Aryu.
Mm-hmm.
CDM Karasu, and
Mm.
then Rayo left attacking midfielder, Hiyori right attacking midfielder, Chigri left wing, Bachura right wing, and then Rin at the front and Isagi at the front.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. You're going hyper aggressive. Um, I would have 4-4-2 with Rin at the top and Isagi just slightly withdrawn from that. So playing as a 10 really. Isagi
Mm-hmm.
in my lineup. Um, in the on the left I would have Tigri. On the right I would have Bachira. And then in the middle I would actually have Karasu and Hiyori. Uh,
Mm.
I'm not starting Rayo because I think Rayo will be a later on addition into the team. I think
Okay.
to begin with, he's going to be slow. It's going to be a slow beginning. Then my defense is a little bit weird, where I propose having Nico on my left back, IQ and RU in the center, and then
Okay.
it's either Zantetsu or Otoya on the right side. So Otoya
Mm.
would work well with Bachira on the right side, but the reason why I said maybe Zantetsu is because of just having speed on the flanks. Um, but yeah, my back line needs a little bit of work, but that's what I've proposed before.
Yeah, no, I like that. You have like Toya linking up with Karasu, linking up with Hiyori, linking up with Bachira. That
Yeah,
would be sick.
yeah, yeah. So Dedu said 4-4-2, Gagamaru, of course. Right back Hiyori, centre back
Mm.
Ayu and Aryu, left back Chigiri, right mid, um, Bachira, so Hiyori and Bachira on the right side, centre mid
Okay.
Arasu and Rayo, and then left mid Barrow. Ooh,
Oh,
with with Isagi and Rin as strikers. Okay, Barrow on the left mid. Wow.
Borrow is not staying there. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, but I think that's why he's got Chigiri, as the left back because Chigiri will most likely go forward.
Mm.
Probably fill in that left mid one because we know Barrow's not
Yeah,
left mid.
he's going up front.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I imagine Isagi would play a little bit more withdrawn than Rin as well. Just to link up play.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
a
can
good formation. That's a good formation.
100%. Yeah, I think honestly, when it comes to formations, I think what Ego is gonna do is have like specialized formations for each player.
Hmm.
Like there's gonna be like the Isagi centric formation. There's gonna be like the Borrow Chaos formation that probably has Shido on it or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay.
Um. Okay. Let me see if there's any more questions. If not, we can wrap it up because I think we've been going for 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, it was decent time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So Dedu says Barrow as left mid will operate will operate as an inside forward, cutting into his stronger foot and using his unpredictable movements to work between the fullback and centre back to cause confusion. Oh, for sure. The thing with Barrow is you positionally he'll just play wherever he wants, so you won't be able to pin him down. Ego knows that as well. Uh,
Yeah.
Ego knows that as well, and he'll rely on that. He'll count on that. So yeah, I can see that working out. And Chigri also being an inside threat will also add onto this. Yeah, exactly. And when Barrow goes more central, Chigri fills in that spot, and they've got good chemistry. Barrow and Chigri, anyways, they've played together a lot before, so
Yeah.
so
And
definitely work.
Yeah, and I like that idea of having like Borrow start on the left and then cut into the right to use his right foot,
Hmm.
because all of his goals, I'm pretty sure in the NEL, come from him on the right side using his like right-footed curve shot.
Yeah, yes. Actually, no. His first one, I think, was more central. Maybe was it central?
Was it?
His first one was sent because his first one was the blind, the stealth kill shot that killed from behind a bunch of players up into the left corner. I'd like to say,
It was left of Gagamaru,
yeah,
so right from Borrow's point of view.
yeah. So, oh yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, that's the perfect position. Actually, yeah,
Yeah, he loves that top right corner.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect for Chigri as well. Like they're both a threat from that position.
Yeah, and you know what? Borrow moving and like cutting right makes space for Chigiri too.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
if the defenders move to cover Borrow, Chigiri's just free on the left.
Exactly. Exactly. And Chigri is more likely to pass it as well as if he gets the ball in that position. And then
For
he'll
sure.
have three strikers to feed: Barrow, Rin, and Isagi. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's a killer formation, man. That's good.
Yeah, that's unique thinking of using Borrow.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, OP, we'll wrap it up here. And yeah, it was a good one, good chapter as well. And I'm so glad there's no break as well. Uh,
Cannot wait.
and just take this last one from Dedu, who says, I've already analyzed the whole formation in depth for every position and it's tactically fluid. I should replace Eagle.
Yeah, you got the monitor set up, the holograms.
Yeah, if it well, Eagle might be looking for might be out of a job soon. So
Oh, true.
depending on what happens with that Nagi stuff, so put in your CV in it.
Yeah, get a reference in.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, like the video. Let's get this spread around so that more people can come in. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel as well. But yeah, Daddy, thanks a lot for joining us today. And yeah, guys, take care and God bless.